Y'all think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is with the myth, the giving gifts on the night. Caesar was genius in the facts.
Hey, shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Thank you for joining us today for another Sabbath class. All right, we're going to start off with announcements. All right, as you know, Boulevard. All right, here in Houston, Texas. It's where we have a school in San Antonio, Texas, 78217. We have a school in Albuquerque, New Mexico. All right, 501 Copper Avenue, Northwest Albuquerque, New Mexico. All right, and the time for the classes out there in San Antonio, 1 second.
San Antonio, 7 to 10.
Yeah, so Monday through Thursday is 7 to 9, Friday is 8 to 10, and on the Sabbath class, it's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., all right? Those are the class times for San Antonio. For our class times, we have classes Monday, Wednesday, from 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. All right, Friday's class is going to be from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. And then the Sabbath morning class is going to start at 10 p.m. and will end about 2 p.m. depending if we're going out to street speak or not. All right? We have classes in Austin, Texas as well. So if you're in that area, hit us up. We'll get you more information on the location and what time. All right? And as well, we have another avenue for the kids to start watching YouTube classes. It's going to be ISBHPK Kids, all right, and that's going to be every Sunday at 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. And you can go ahead and definitely get your kids on that. Get them watching some Bible classes, man. Let them know their history and who they are, all right? And as you know, we have our own channel, ISBHPK, where we have live classes. That's what you're on now, but we also have archive classes and that on that subscription. So you can see a lot of classes that we have from years, a lot of different classes, regeneration, the law, every question that you think you may have, somebody may have asked it, so go in there, check it out, and see if it's there, all right? We also have the ISBHPK cable show every Saturday, 8:30 on Comcast, channel 17, all right? And another avenue, we have the Blog Talk Radio. This is going to be from the brother Mashaba out of San Antonio / Albuquerque. He has a wonderful show Monday through Friday at 9:30. That spiritual food in the morning, hit the brother up. Let's call into that as at Blockchains. If you would like one, hit up the sisters on Israelware on Facebook, and they'll be more than happy to make you a specific garment, a customized vest, shirt, pants, French pants, or whatever that you may need, armbands, the whole unit, all right? And if you need a 2737, we have Priest Quatazat. His number is going to be 303-557-8979. Again, that number is 303-557-8979. And that's going to be for Priest Quatazat. And for those that don't really, text or call, listen, we have the email as well. So another avenue for you to get your questions answered or any type of concerns that you have. The email is going to be isbhpk@isbhpk.org. Again, that is isbhpk@isbhpk.org. All right? And for any donations, listen, we greatly, on the bottom of the screen, you see a Wells Fargo account. If you can, listen, send some funds through. For the school rent, listen, books, the light bill, all these different costs that we have. We definitely take care of it ourselves, but any contribution is definitely welcome and needed. All right? We have another form that you can actually send any monetary donations. That's going to be Google Wallet. That's going to be isbhpk@gmail.com. And as well, you have our address if you want to send books, Bibles, Apocryphers, Donovans, any type of educational book. We've had brothers send Apocryphers and Bibles, and we greatly appreciate those that have been sending. Listen, anything, desk, that you think that could be used, computers, laptops, screens, iPads, Apple computers, whatever you think is necessary, we definitely need it. Cars, for street speaking specifically, trucks, If you have any hookups or if you know anybody, please hit us up with that information. Again, we greatly appreciate everything that you do for us. And listen, continue watching, but I'm gonna go ahead and switch it or turn it over to Priest Quatazat.
Can y'all hear me? Go on. Shalom. Any questions? Any questions in class? We're gonna do try to do the first hour of questions, and then get to this to the reading, to the Sabbath reading, which it looks like it's quite hefty.
Yeah, I got a question.
What's up, Carlos?
Are there other any other precepts for Romans 1:16? Of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believed, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek.
So you just want some other
Precepts to that, if you have any.
I mean, there's a few.
About three would be fine. 3 will be fine.
I mean, I'm looking here, you know, the beauty of these apps, they're not always going to be all on point, but they give you a few, like, so, I mean, we could deal with it in parts. Check this out. So Romans 1:16, right? It says, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. So there's precepts just for that one part of the verse.
Okay.
Go to Psalms 119 and 46. I'll break it down like that.
Psalm 119.
Psalms 119 and verse 6.
All right, hold on.
So there's more than one, I mean, this scripture, watch, it says, for I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. So there's precepts for that just particular part of the verse.
Okay. Con.
So go to Psalms 119 and 46.
119.
Uh-huh. Psalms 119 and 46. Get Mark 8 and 38.
Want me to read that?
46.
6. I mean, on 46.
Yeah, 46.
I thought you said 146. Shalakia. 119 and 46.
But I'm just like,
All right. Psalms 119 and 46.
go ahead.
I will speak on thy testimonies also before kings,
Read.
and will not be ashamed.
You see that? So just dealing with that not being ashamed part. Go to Mark 8 and 38.
Mark.
Chapter 8, verse 38. Let everybody get it.
Mark chapter 8 and verse 38.
8 and 8.
8 in Mark chapter 8 and verse 38.
38. Got it. Con.
Go ahead.
Mark chapter 8 verse 38. Shame. When he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels.
You see that? It's talking about being ashamed. You get?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Go to First Timothy. Go back. Read that again. Read that one.
And of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation.
Go ahead.
Of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed.
Yeah. So in Romans, Paul was talking about. He said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Right? And then we're going to get a little bit deeper into that when we go to Timothy, but Christ was coming back and saying, look, if you're ashamed of me, and my words, I'm going to be ashamed of you.
Gotcha.
You see that?
Con.
When you go to 1 Timothy 1:8.
First Timothy chapter 1, verse 8.
God.
God. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 8. But we know that the law is good.
No.
1:8.
2 Timothy 1:8. I'm sorry. Forgive me. 2 Timothy 1 and verse 8.
2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of your Lord, nor of his prisoner.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep
But be thou partaker of the.
But be what?
But thou be partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of the Most High.
You see, our Lord, nor me of his prisoner. So this is Paul coming back. But be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of the Most High.
God.
And it goes in and talks, you know, it says the power. It says, so the testimony is the power. Go to 1 Corinthians 15. 1 Corinthians 15. Yeah.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 1.
Uh-huh. Hold where you at. Go and get Romans real quick. Get that Romans. Romans 1 and 16.
God.
Just giving you just breaking it down.
Power of the Most High unto salvation.
Right. So now we're going to deal with this power of the Most High unto salvation. Now go to 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 1.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I prepared unto you, and wherein ye stand.
You see that? I declare unto you stand. So it's just showing that once you receive the word, you're supposed to abound in it. Because this is what it's going to do. Read on.
By which also ye are saved.
By what?
By which also ye are saved.
You see that? Going right along with that Romans 1:16. You get that?
Yeah. God.
Go to where we at? Corinthians, right?
1 Corinthians 15.
One sec. Go to 1 Thessalonians 1 and 5.
First Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 5.
And you can go to Hebrews 4 and 12. Right after that, we'll go to 1 Thessalonians 1 chapter 1 and verse 5.
God, 1 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
For our gospel came not unto you in word only,
Go ahead.
but also in power.
In what?
But also in power.
The word is what?
Power.
See, it says the word is the power of the Most High. Go ahead.
And in the Holy Spirit.
Go ahead.
And in much assurance, as ye know what manner of men we were among you for your sake.
Go ahead.
And ye became followers of us.
See that? You became the follower of the gospel. For your salvation. Go ahead.
And of the Lord.
And of who?
And of the Lord.
Go ahead.
Having received the word in much affliction.
Go ahead.
With joy of the Holy Spirit.
Right, because we read back in yeah, that's beautiful. Back in Timothy's, where Paul said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ or the afflictions that he went through. You see that?
Yeah.
So this comes back and showing that we received the word in much affliction with joy. We're not ashamed of the afflictions. You see that? So, I mean, does that... Oh. No. All you got to do is mess with that last one. Yeah. Yeah. Because if you start messing with the other ones, it throws the other mics off. Yeah. Can y'all hear me a little bit better? I felt like I was low. Turn my snare up. I felt like I wasn't pulsating through the crowd, you know what I'm saying? There was no life in the building. Feel good now. Turn it up.
Turned up.
Well, you get that, right? You get that, right? Right, and then to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. Because think about it, who was Paul dealing with? Paul was dealing with
the Jews that did not know they were Jews.
Right, he was dealing with the Jews in a Gentile state of mind. But obviously, if you knew you were a Jew, you knew that the word was for you. If you knew that. To the Jew first that already knew, and then to the Greek that was in a Gentile state of mind. You see that? So, I mean, with that one, you can go to Romans chapter 9, verse 1. You can go to you go there. Oh, there's one in Romans. I'm trying not to use my concordance on here. I'm trying to use my brain. Trying to get back to that. So that's why I'm like going a little slower. But bear with me. We get into the habit of using the electronics.
So you get lazy?
And you get lazy. So I'm trying to get unlazy. I'm trying to let my brain work. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to let my brain do the work. Is it Romans? What you got? Is this one bad? Is this one better? Did he say it was low? Oh, okay. Oh, y'all want to hear my voice in HD? You said what? Yeah.
But I was doing some research yesterday. And if you look up that word Greek, it says Helen, right?
Yeah, Hellenist.
Hellenist.
Get that in the Zondervan. Right there. Yeah, Hellenist. What were you researching? What did you get?
I've got a little app on my phone. And let me give you the meaning here in a minute. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me look that up. All right. For Greek, it says G1672. Then it says transliteration Helen, Helene. That's the pronunciation. And then it says Grecian, Helen Grecian, or inhabitants of Hellas.
Right.
By extension, of Greek-speaking person.
Right.
Especially a non-Jew Gentile.
A non-Jew Gentile. See, okay.
That's what I got from you.
So we're going to read this from the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Hellenist. Yeah, read that.
Hellenist. A term used for...
Where you at? Where you at?
Page 347.
Hellenist, page 347 in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. You got a compact, right?
Yeah, I got a small.
You got a smaller one. So we're in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, page 347 under Hellenist. Go ahead.
Hellenist, a term used specially of Jews who made Greek their tongue.
You see that? A term used, it says a non-Greek. Non-Greeks who spoke Greek. A term used specially of a Jew who made Greek their tongue, and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices.
Yeah, that's what I got from.
Right. So, like for instance,
So this is this transliteration and meaning is different than some app.
you know, the thing is,
Bible Strongs.
okay. See, the thing is, it's always important to have.
So there was a contradiction. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
Right. So let's go here real quick. Where we at? We were in Romans 1:16, right? Because this is the thing too. You know, when you go through who were Hellenists, his father was a Hellenist in a Greek state of mind. You see that? When you go through it, yeah, his mom, she was a Hebrew also. So was his grandma, right? It talks about his grandmother, Eunice, right? Talks about how strong her faith was, and she handed that down to her daughter, and the daughter handed that down to Timothy. But when you go through it, you find out that Romans, right? Romans 1 and verse 16. Also, it's Greek. Yeah, here it says a Hellen, a Grecian or inhabitant of Hellas, by extension a Greek-speaking person, especially a non-Jew. Mom's definition.
G1672.
No, mine is G1671. Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. G1672. So it's going to give you the same thing. I was trying to see, you know what?
Another one that says,
What you got? Hellenist. Yeah, see? Strong's Concordance, G1675. Hellenist, Greek-speaking Jew. Hellenist, a Grecian Jew. Definition, a Hellenist, a Grecian Jew, a Greek-speaking Jew, that is one who can speak Greek only and not Hebrew or Aramaic. So, in the Zondervan, we looked up, what did we look up? 370, 347, we looked up
Jews who made Greek their tongue.
Right, the word was Hellenists. Same word here, Hellenists. And yeah, when you look at this translation, it's Helen. So that's the difference, where if you go to G1675, what it'll do is it'll give you that same definition. So we're just looking at the wrong word. In the English, we're looking at the wrong word. That's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But the understanding is that these were Greek-speaking Jews that Paul was dealing with. He was dealing with Roman, Jews that thought they were Romans, and all these other nations. To the Jew first, and then to the Gentile. And then, obviously, when Christ comes, to all the other nations, right? That's how it goes, right? Every tongue shall confess, every knee shall bow. Right?
Right.
Con. Any other questions in the class? Yeah. Hopefully, and we definitely want to apologize for the internet feed lately. We're finding out that our internet in the area is not the best anymore for some reason. This area, it floods a lot. Like when it internet, it hasn't been raining, but after a while, that's going to have a residual effect on the area. So we're definitely trying to figure out a different provider or a better way. So we definitely apologize. We ask y'all to bear with us. If it cuts out, we're going to get back on. Don't leave the class. Or Ronnie.
Was Christ Adam?
Say it one more time.
Was Christ one of the Adams, the last Adam?
You said was Christ one of the? Yeah. You trying to go
Not deep.
deep.
No,
You trying to blow minds.
oh, that's what I'm doing?
Yeah, 'cause I mean, I'm not going to go too deep, but 1 Corinthians 15, right?
Yeah,
This is one of my favorites.
15.
This is one of my favorites.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
Let's see here. The first Adam was made a living soul. You know, let's hold that one. Let's hold that one, because I don't want to misstep on that. We're gonna hold that one, all right?
All right.
Yeah, we'll hold that. We'll hold that one, and then we'll come back to it. It's a good question, though. A lot of people. Yeah, we're gonna hold that. And that can go. I don't want to dive all the way in there. It can get real confusing.
First man Adam was made a
Well,
living soul.
well, it's telling us that there's more than one Adam, right? So, yeah, let's hold it. Yeah, let's hold that, and we'll come back to that. Is it unlawful? May do Facebook Live classes. Yeah, but the thing is, the Facebook Live is not bad. The problem is with Facebook Live, you got people that want to come on there and just straight up debate. It's too open. It's hard to monitor, so you got people that just want to come on there and debate, and what it does, it takes away from the learning of the people that want to learn. It takes away, because then you just got to, people want to battle and throw in their own insight and do all that. So either way, Facebook Live takes an internet connection just like YouTube. You know, with the YouTube, we can do a lot more when it comes to editing and putting up scriptures and things like that. But we've done the Facebook Live. There is a big difference. Is it unlawful if I, as a woman, well, let's go. I mean, there's one thing to not want children or not make them, and then there's one thing to not be able to have them. You have plenty of sisters in the scriptures that were barren. Let's really just deal with Genesis chapter 1 verse. Let's go to Genesis. Annex to it. Because you say this is unlawful. If you're a married woman with a husband, and you're having the discussion with your husband, and he's like, well, I want kids. And you're like, no, I don't want kids. Or coming to some type of agreement with the husband. You know? So that's a different dynamic, but let's just deal with what the scripture says. Go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27.
Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth.
It was a blessing to be able to be fruitful and multiply. That was one of the many blessings. But how do I word it right? It wasn't a sin for a woman to be barren, because the Most High set it up for a lot of women to be barren. But then when they were able to give birth, that was a blessing. Childbearing was a blessing. So he said he blessed them and said unto them, be what?
Fruitful and multiply.
Go ahead.
And replenish the earth.
Read.
And subdue it. And have dominion over the fish of the sea.
I mean, think about it. When you go through Genesis, right? When you go through Genesis and you read all Genesis chapter 1, and it's just all being about the creation. It's about creation and the Most High creating everything. And when you get to verse 27, 28, that's really the first time the Most High has given some type of commandment. Y'all see that? I mean, if you want to be super, super technical, that's like the first commandment. Be fruitful and multiply. It's the easiest thing you can do as two people. It's not babies. I mean, think about it. Remember back in the day? When families was like 12, 13 deep?
And some 50 to the 60.
Yeah, how many brothers and sisters you got?
Well, I got a small family.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, my friend,
Yeah.
they had 16, 17 in their family. My kid got my father and everything.
Yeah, and that's yeah, he had like a family on the side.
No, it wasn't on the side though.
Oh, they knew about it.
He had 12 with my grandma. Then he had like another 10 with it was another woman. So yeah, it was
So he's an Israelite.
it wasn't like it was actually family.
He was an Israelite.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I don't want to have children. Now, what do you get into?
Yourself.
No. You get into a lot of women that don't want to have children. If they do get pregnant, what do? Abortions, right? I'm not saying that contraceptives, that's the word, they're not needed, because I'm not saying go out there and have 50,000 kids that you can't take care of. But you have women that, oh, I don't want to have kids. They get pregnant, but then now you're doing abortions, which is murder. That's you sacrificing your children. You know, so you get into all these different levels of preventative action. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the Most High said to be fruitful and multiply. Now, I mean, if you're unmarried, obviously you can't be fruitful and multiply if you're unmarried. But if you have a husband and I mean, listen, if you and your husband came to that agreement that you don't want to have children, then that's the agreement y'all came to. But if he says, well, I want children, and you're like, no, I don't, and then you go off and do something like distort your body, tie your tubes. Think about all the things people do not to have children. They tie their tubes, abortions, the birth control that ruins your body, right? You start taking those changes your hormones. You got to see the repercussions of that. It ruins your body. Because then, what happens when the Most High puts that spirit on you to want to have kids? Now you got to wait for your body to repair itself after all the birth control and all the contraceptives. So read that one more time.
Verse 27,
Uh-huh.
verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
Right. So, what we do know through the scripture, there were women that were barren, and it wasn't a sin for them to be barren. You know, there's a where is it at? Where it says it's in the gospel. I think it's in Matthew where it says
Okay.
yeah. Go to that real quick. There is a scripture that says, woe to them that are with child and give suck. But it's telling you in what time.
It's Matthew 24:19.
Matthew 24:19. See, I'm trying to get my brain like his, where he just remembers things. Right, so now this is talking about, obviously, in the end times, right? In the end times, this is what Christ said. Go to Matthew 24:19.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 19. And woe unto them that are with child,
Go ahead.
and to them that give suck in those days.
Read.
But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter,
Go ahead.
neither on the Sabbath day.
You see that? So in these times of destruction, he said, woe to them that are with child and that give suck. Think about it. It's talking about there's going to be famine and pestilence and all these things. So there's going to be, shortages of food and all these things that are going to, wars, rumors of wars. Who wants to bring up children in that anyway? Think about it. Think about the times that we're in. So I'm just trying to give a little balance and just show that the scriptures tell us to be fruitful and multiply. But then you also got to look at the times that we're in. The times that we're in, I mean, who wants to have a baby? Think about it, 2018. You gonna drop you a baby, right? You gonna have a baby in 2018. Look how wicked it is now. What's gonna happen when that baby's 18? Let's say you give birth to a son, and he out here he's 18, he's trying to find him a woman. He gonna find a she-man. Because ain't no women, I feel sorry for my son. I always say it, he's 4. I'm like, man, by the time he's ready to get him a woman, you're gonna be having to check birth certificates, parents' birth certificates to make sure that they were born what they were born. Like, you're gonna have to go through all these different processes and checks to make sure that this person that says that they're a woman is really a woman. Or this person that says they're a man is really a man.
Right, like Bobby Valentino.
What's up with him?
Bobby Valentino got caught in it was like a tranny party, but I don't know if he really knew.
Dang.
Yeah, it was they all looked like females, but they were all men.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh yeah, he was running out the house, running out the apartment.
Yeah, because the witchcraft that they do with the surgery, it's so good.
It's hard to tell who's who.
It's hard to tell. So it's like I need your birth certificate. I need DNA samples to make sure that it says that you're a female. I need you to have baby pictures. You need to actually have kids now. You need to come with a child to make me know that you're actually a woman. What's that? Yeah, you need all that. But even baby pictures can be deceiving. Because think about it, they're starting to start these children out early. They come out, no gender assignment, and they let them pick what you are, pick whatever you want. That's what they're doing to the children. Yeah, it's rough. You know, the things that are going on now, this is not even the height. This is not even the height of the filth. This is not even the height of the pestilence, the destruction. This is not even the height. And look at it. Yeah, we can probably go there. But it's hard, man. It's hard out here for a brother, especially a righteous brother that's trying to do right, follow scripture, beat up by the world because the world is trying to impress on them. You know, all the influences out in the world are trying to tell them that what they believe isn't right, or the way they move around isn't right. Why you wearing a dress? Why you do this? How come you don't celebrate Christmas, holidays, all these different things? Both are at what cost? I'm not going to bring a child in at what cost? What am I going to have to do to prevent this child from coming in? What type of avenues do I have to explore? Because what do they have out there for people? Abortions, demo shots, that. And then when you do bring the child in, then you got to consider, damn, they got to be, what type of child am I going to raise? And how am I going to raise them in this wicked world?
The spouse would have to be extra fortified to fortify that child, so they can withstand what they'll have to go through in the world.
Yeah.
You can't even watch TV.
30, and start at verse 3. We're going to jump down to verse
You call us simpletons? That's hilarious, man. People come on the page just to make stupid comments.
While they're at home.
While they're home, yeah.
Ecclesiasticus what?
30 and verse 3.
Ecclesiastes chapter 30, verse 3.
And this is just a balance just to, you know, in raising your child in this crazy environment, you know, there's still positivity behind it. You know, yeah, it could be a burden. Dang. Oh, I got as well. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 30, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
He that teacheth the son grieveth the enemy.
He does what?
He that teacheth the son
Uh-huh.
grieveth the enemy.
Yeah. He that teaches his son grieveth his enemy. The reason being because he's raising him up in the laws and statutes of the Most High. He's showing him the difference between what's good and what's evil. So now this individual, rather than being just an average individual in this world that goes along with everything, that's going to be your average crack dealer, that's going to be your average stripper, that's going to be your average just nonchalant, I go with everything, whatever the wind goes, this individual is going to be a rock for the Most High. He's going to be somebody with, like you said, fortitude in the spirit, and understand that what's going on in this world is wicked. Jump down the road.
Yeah, but this is the thing. No matter what, it's up to the parents. What type of parent are you going to be?
deep.
That's the thing. That's what it all boils down to. Is am I going to be the one that teaches my son the right thing, or I'm going to teach him how to smoke blunts and roll, and drink, smoke blunts and drink.
Right.
Teach him about the carnal things of the world. And that's the thing. These are the things to consider when having children. What example am I going to be? I mean, if you ain't going to be the right example, you might as well not have children. If you ain't going to teach them the laws, the statutes, the commandments, teach them why you don't want to have them. Because the scriptures say to not desire not a multitude of unprofitable children. Because all you're going to watch is them grow up and die. That's it. You're going to watch them grow up and be chastised before you. Carlos.
Yeah, and what I've seen on the streets, now you have grandparents raising grandkids.
Yeah.
So they're older and they don't have the time and the energy to take care of these kids.
Yeah.
So now these kids are running rampant.
Right.
Just through my experiences and things that I've seen on my employment. Right?
Yeah, because this is the thing too. Listen, I was raised by my grandparents, but there was a different upbringing. I mean, my grandparents are from the islands, so y'all know.
That's 40 years ago.
Yeah, that's years ago though.
Yeah,
Well, I ain't 40 yet. I'm close. Yeah, I'm knocking, but that's my point. Where grandparents 40 years ago, 50 years ago, that was like an extension of your parent.
Oh yeah, they took care of business.
They took care of, so everything is kind of switching up where there's not that potency in respect, or that potency in that true good upbringing of discipline. Right. There's no potency in that. Now it's just like grandma want to be like the children.
Right.
And her mom didn't play that, and her pops didn't play that. He was on it.
Listen, I remember I got whooped for me and my cousins. We got whooped in Mississippi for getting the carports wet. Getting the carports wet. Since he sat down in the chair, there wasn't no running. There wasn't no be this, be that. It was like, all right, well, because once again, we're in the country, man, like in the boondocks. There's no main roads. We're so. Yes, sir.
Did y'all see where this he might drag a 7-year-old kid off the school bus feet first?
No, I didn't see that. Yeah, that's not. I mean, that's not good discipline. That's not good.
What I'm saying, they can whoop or drag your kids, throw your kids all around, they won't let you whoop them in the house.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but it's terrible. But when they decided to do it's a setup. That's all it is. That's why it's important for us to teach our children at home. But the point is, going back to the original question, just giving that balance is, if you ain't gonna teach your children, don't have them. Don't have them, because then they may turn out to be an example out in these streets. They're gonna grow up unlawful, uncaring, unloving, and the results of that, you got to deal with that as a parent, seeing it. You're not gonna deal with the Most High as far as like the judgment on that, but you got to sit back and say, damn. So now he's a monster. Now he's a drug dealer. Now he's a crackhead, alcoholic, whatever.
Catching hot ones, man.
Yeah.
Police shooting them, friends shooting them, drive-by shooting. It said the wrong place at the right time.
Yeah.
Sad.
I mean, think about all the, where were the parents at? Well, think about it. Parents, moms. She was with dad. Got pregnant. Money started getting tight. What happens? They don't know how to agree or to come to any time. Dad leaves, right? Leaves the mom by herself to be a single parent. What does she got to do? To compensate the household, she has to work extra. Double jobs, OT. So now what's left? The child by somebody that can't really keep up. But it's easy. That's easy. So you got to consider, like, what wisdom am I using that when I do have my child, I'm able to keep everything together? Because that's what it's about. Think about how many relationships get destroyed after you have the baby. Because there was no wisdom, because things get a little harder. Time gets shorter where I don't have my time to myself. I have less money to myself. Think about, everybody argues and fights, it's usually over money, financial situations, especially the ones without wisdom. Yeah, the ones without wisdom get into these, it's so simple and basic. You see it all the time, but that is what it is.
I think about that a lot
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times it's kids who are doing the shootings. They're like between like 18, maybe 20.
Yeah.
And I think about like what was the parents doing? Because you'll hear about the parents. Oh,
Yeah.
we loved our kids.
Yeah.
They were a good person up until this point, but it's just like, yeah, you fell short somewhere because they shot up a whole school of kids.
Yeah, because you left them to themselves. Watch this. That's a good observation. Yeah, go to Ecclesiastes 30 real quick. You got it.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and give me verse 8.
Yeah, read that real quick. Just read it.
Yeah. And horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful.
They left him in his room. He was able to go in his room, lock the door, padlock it, listen to whatever music he wanted, dress how he wanted. You walk in the room, it's just all black on the walls, gothic, demonic ass posters, right? The room just smells like corn chips and weed, right? He don't never shower. He just think about these cats, man. Or he was just on the no sunlight. Right, but think about it. Or you go into their room and this child, he was able to just go and surf the web.
Oh, that's
internet. That's all he did was get on the internet. So now he clung to the wrong group of people on the internet. You see that? Or the video games. The movie, he clung to the wrong people. Right. But the parents are like, oh, it's just the internet. It's just the internet. Instead of taking time to say, let me raise my child. Let me not let the internet raise my child. Or the video games or the group parties on the video games raise my children. See, that's the thing that has to be considered. What was up?
No, I just got a conversation with the brother yesterday with the bees, just about being a father.
Yeah.
Because it's more than just, saying what's up in mind. Understand these individuals. Listen, what's your thought process like?
Like, and that's what we got to do every single day. Listen, it ain't easy. We pick up our kids from school, like, what'd you do today? Who said this? Who said what? What did you say? It's like this, almost like a grilling session that you got to do every single day to find out. And you have the knowledge, your child is going to go in this way where they're going to assimilate with the world. So then now they're going to be an unprofitable child, because what's the whole purpose of having children? What's the whole purpose? Watch. Go back to Ecclesiastes 30. We're there, but start at verse 1. We'll start where you...
Come.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 3. He that teacheth his son...
the purpose of having the children is to do so that we can get out the constraint of our enemies. Teach our children how to maneuver in this world to be better than we were. So they don't have to be captive to this society. Go ahead.
And before his friends he shall rejoice in him.
Children, the law, statutes, commandments, I taught them wisdom. That they could actually have, the wisdom is the wealth. I'm giving them real wealth. You got these rich families and these Edomite families, whatever. You got some Judite families and Israelite families that got this wealth down to my children so they could be stable in life. But what if you don't teach your child how to manage the money? You can hand down anything you want to a kid, but what if you don't teach them how to hand your child a business, run a business?
Ran into another individual. This was, were you with me?
I don't know.
No, somebody else.
Tell the story.
Oh, Squawk was with. There was an individual that he came to the car, but his sister actually owns Love and Hip Hop. So his sister owns Love and Hip Hop, and
the whack reality show.
The reality show.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but he in that it was actually Ariana. Yeah. But then it was but then he does like planning around it. But the thing about it, when I thought about it, I was like, see, this is what we should be teaching each other. Yeah. Get a business and then we can employ others. But the same thing, obviously, with our family, we don't do that, man. We may have an inheritance, but we don't teach our children how to maintain it, how to make it expand.
Right.
And that's what the scriptures is trying to get us back to.
Right, but this is the thing, because it does say in Isaiah, it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation. Right. So, he that teacheth his son, teach him what? That's what it's about. It's teaching our children this and getting them back to this so they can be stable. If you're not willing to do that, what's the point? You got to ask yourself. If you're not willing to do that, then what is the point?
Is as a thought he were not dead.
Right.
No.
Why?
He is as though he were not dead.
Why? Because this child, this son, is like a carbon copy of his dad. He's a carbon copy. Everything his dad had wisdom-wise, he instilled into his son. Right. You see it all the time. This is something so basic like Dale Earnhardt. Right? Remember Dale Earnhardt, the race car driver? What did he do? Before he died, he instilled all that stuff into his son. Now you got Dale Jr. And I'm sure Dale Jr. will give birth to Dale Jr. Jr. And he'll make him a NASCAR driver. And there'll be NASCAR drivers until Christ comes. Right. You'll have 8 generations of NASCAR drivers. It's no different than the creeds. Right. You got these father and sons. It's called their last name is Creed. They do the fragrances, the Creed fragrances. They've been doing they're perfumers. They've been perfuming or in this art of perfuming since like the 1800s. They're still doing it today. Obviously, they didn't live from the 1800s till now, but father and son, right? Son, what does he do? I'm gonna teach you everything I know. And they've been doing that since the 1800s. Right. Up until now, it's 2018. So think about that. They went through like 5 generations. Right. 5, 6 generations of father and son. To where now what are they doing now? But they just carry on the family business. Think about all these big businesses that are out there. They're just getting carried on father to son, father to son. I'm instilling in you the things that's gonna keep this business, and I'm using a business because in your generation, but what was made for our generation? The wisdom. Where did we go wrong? When we stopped instilling the wisdom into our children. When we stopped giving our children the wisdom and we just said, man, that ain't worth it. That's where we went wrong. That's where we went wrong, so that's what we gotta come back to. So if you're not willing to come back to this, don't have the children. But if you know that I gotta teach my children for a purpose, have all the children. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. Go ahead.
And before for he had left one behind him that is like himself.
Go ahead.
While he lived, he saw him rejoice in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him.
Yeah, because why would a man be sorrowful when he died and he has children? He's on his deathbed like, damn, I didn't teach my son nothing. You know you messed up. Like, think of it, you watch the movies and they're on the deathbed and they're dying and the son comes and he's like, son, I'm so sorry. Right. I didn't spend enough time with you. Right. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. That's why you got to take the time now. It's real though. You watch the show. Y'all all watch it. Right? Whatever show it is, man, they on the deathbed dying, crying to his son, I'm so sorry. I didn't teach you. Right? I left you in the world cold and alone. When I know I should have been, because the whole point was, I should have took the time to teach my son, teach my daughter. Go ahead.
Verse 6, he left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
You see that? Because the enemy was going to be avenged, but the friends of this man were going to be treated with kindness from that son. Go ahead.
He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels will be troubled at every cry.
Yeah, it's like you make too much of your son, like, yeah, my son is good at this, he's good at this, he's good at that, he's good at that. And then you're not checking for those things that he's not good at. Because in your mind, he's good at everything, so you're not checking him. You're not showing him like, no, you're doing that wrong. No, you're doing that wrong. You're making so much of him like he's perfect. When he does fall, it's like, damn, it comes out of nowhere. Like, whoa, hold on. I wasn't expecting that. He was supposed to be perfect. You see that? What's up, Carlos?
No.
You good? Go ahead.
Verse 8. And a horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful.
Yeah. Going back to what the sister was saying about these children that shoot up schools and just do weird things, man. These school shooters and bombers and Timothy McVeigh's and the Unabomber. These cats, listen, these dudes had troubled upbringings. Yes. They weren't happy children. No one taught them. No one disciplined them. They were left to do whatever they wanted. They were left to roam the internet and watch weird movies that influenced them the wrong way and listen to weird music that influenced them the wrong way.
I seen the news clip. I watched the news all the time. I seen the news clip yesterday. Kind of breaking their
I don't care.
down.
Listen,
Looking at the clerk.
listen, I got a nephew. I'm put it out there. It's okay. I got a nephew. It was in Missouri. The corner store.
No,
That told me.
smart. They're not even making smart criminals.
Nah, he looked at it like what's up?
They got a lot of
And they had red time. Hell yeah, it is.
That's terrible.
It's sad, man.
Because you know what? Even across the board, there's no type of teaching going on either way.
Nah.
It's like you're not even teaching, but you got to look at you got to look at it where you doing negative. You're not even doing it in a way where you can try to get away.
Right. You know, and I think about it too. It's like we have the spirit that we want to raise our children right, but we're not doing it the right way because what's going on is like now we're giving our children to society. You know what? Let me put them in soccer. Let me put them in band. Let me put them in all these different things. But still, you're not instilling in them any type of foundational type of concepts. You're just giving them to the Beverly elements and hoping that he picks up something that can be useful. But in actuality, it's not really useful. It's just time wasted. Or not really time wasted, but time occupied. You know what I'm saying? Rather than having, I definitely see why. But at the end of the day, it doesn't work, man. And that's why we have to teach our children these laws and statutes.
Well, we don't know what we don't know if that's the case. That's what I was going to ask. And I was going to ask, too, what was the reasoning behind this from the beginning? And I don't know if this question is directed towards you yourself, but if it is, what would be the reasoning that you don't want to have children? That way we can get a little bit better understanding of what I mean. You know, there's things to consider when having children. Watch. Go to second Ezra 5. Been saying, and that's why we're trying to come with this balance to show you, no, the Most High said to be fruitful and multiply. But now it's like, now you got to consider how many kids you want to have, if you want to have any at all, because of the situations upon earth. So the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? It also says the earth is defiled by the inhabitants thereof. Why would I want to bring something into this defiled world?
So are you, because of the second reason, are you wrong for like not wanting to have kids because you don't want to bring kids into this?
It's not wrong. It's not wrong, but this is the thing. The scriptures say, we were hitting it yesterday in Romans, right? Romans 12. It says, be not overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. So the whole point is this. Where is my mind at? If I do happen to bring this child into the world, where's my mind? That's the thing. Is my mind geared towards teaching my child? Or am I going to bring forth, watch, we're going to read it, or am I going to bring forth little monsters? Because that's the thing. It's not about, I don't think it's more per se a right or wrong. It's more of where am I at spiritually?
Right.
Where am I at spiritually? Because then now, if I'm just bringing forth just little gremlins, that's where I'm wrong. Or if I'm bringing forth children, I have the wisdom and I don't want to take the time to teach them, that's the wrong. You see what I'm saying? Watch, read 2 Ezra 5 and verse 1.
2 Ezra chapter 5 verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come, that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number.
Right, this is obviously speaking of future tense, right? Prophecy. Go ahead.
And the way of truth shall be hidden.
Isn't that happening now? The way of the truth shall be hidden? The truth is coming out, but then how is it being hidden? It's being hidden because now you got the truth and then you got 10,000 other doctrines on top of the truth that's hiding. It's like 1 minute the 12 tribes of Israel is lost. Now we're found. Now it's like, nope, that chart's wrong. You see that? The truth is trying to be hid again, but it's still coming out. Go ahead.
And the land shall be barren of faith.
That's what makes people barren of faith, because now it's like, well, I don't know what to believe. 1 minute is this, 1 minute is that. I don't know what to believe. I'm going to go be a Muslim now. Or I'm going to go be a Christian again. or I'm going to go be this, or I'm going to go be that. Jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places.
Go ahead.
And the fire shall
places. There's confusion of faces. There's confusion in everything. Look at, I mean, we talked about it earlier, just about letting children pick their own gender. That's one place. Go ahead.
And the wild beasts shall change their places.
I mean, that's happening now too. You got animals. Think about how Mashaba was bringing it out. Where you got all these different animals like the whales. They're beaching themselves in the hundreds. They're just beaching themselves like they don't want to be in the oceans. You got fish that are beaching themselves where they don't belong. Why? They're trying to escape the conditions that they're in. The ocean is defiled. I was watching something, and they were saying there's not enough oxygen in the ocean to support the animal life in some parts of the ocean. So what are they doing? They go to different parts of the ocean, but then what's happening? The ecosystem is not right for them to live.
Right.
So they ended up beaching themselves like, man, I don't want to live this life.
Right.
I'm gonna. I mean, you just research it. It's happening at an all-time high. Go ahead.
And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
Why? Because they're not taking the time to teach their children. They're not taking the time. No one's taking the time to teach these kids. We see it on Facebook, YouTube, WorldStar, whatever. Anything that you can record. You see these little nigglets out in the street killing each other, fighting, knockout game, having sex in the streets, gang violence, drugs. I seen something, man. It was like a little 3-year-old kid. He was on the Facebook smoking blunts. He's like 3 years old. Getting high, like literally putting the weed to his mouth. Someone taught him how to smoke. It's 3. Now, when we say that he's not capable at 3, let's look at Noah, my son. At 3 years old, this dude was doing things that you never thought a 3-year-old could do. Not bad, but I'm just saying. The things that he was able to pick up and absorb at 3, I mean, he's only 4. So think about him last year.
Right.
It wasn't that much different. So if I want to teach him how to smoke a blunt, trust me, he would have learned. So that's the thing, though. What are we teaching these children? What are you going to teach your child if you do have them? You see that? Go to Ecclesiastes 16. And I'm just giving balance to the question. I'm just trying to give a little balance to the question. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't make you have kids. We can't make you have kids. You know, that's a decision where you got to say, damn, do I want to bring children into this world? I mean, sometimes I want more kids, and then sometimes I'm like, hell no. Nope. Because think about it. It's so many different, to have to go, I'm going to bring it like this, though. To even have to go back into the diaper bottle stage, I've been through that 4 times. To go back through that a 5th time. Changing diapers. Bottles, waking up every 2 hours.
Happy day.
That wasn't easy, man. Sisters, come. Yeah, come thinking about it. I'm like, wow. Like it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like detrimentally hard, but it wasn't easy to have to go back to that after being out of it for so long. It's like, man, that's tough. You know, I'm out of practice. I don't know how to change diapers no more. I don't know how to change diapers. I don't know how to make bottles. Shalom, Moses.
What's going on, brother?
How you feeling, brother?
I'm all right.
All right. Right? Read Ecclesiastes chapter 16.
Ecclesiastes chapter 16, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children.
How do children become unprofitable? Because we don't teach them. That's how they became unprofitable. That's how they become unprofitable. Go ahead.
Neither delight in ungodly sons.
Read.
Though they multiply, rejoice not in them.
Read on.
Except the fear of the Lord be with them.
Except what?
Except the fear of the Lord be with them.
Train up a child in the way you would have him, and he will not depart. It's up to us to at least be the example of the fear, and you know, it's up to us to talk to our children in a way to spark their brains to develop that fear of the Most High. You know, you can't make them fear, but you can spark their brain for them to even develop the type of thoughts that would make you fear. Go ahead.
Trust not thou in their life.
Why? Why? Why not trust in their life? Because they're going to be the opposite of Ecclesiastes 30, where now they're the avenger against the enemy. They're the opposite of that, because they don't have the wisdom to keep moving forward. But see, it's up to us to instill that. So, you know, again, it's a question of, why do I not want children? Or why do I want children? What am I going to do with these children? Am I going to teach them or am I not? I say, if not, don't even have them. Because you're going to be mad as hell. You're going to be bringing forth little monsters, like the scriptures say. They're going to be unprofitable. You're not going to be able to look and say, wow, my child is living doing the right thing.
Neither respect their multitude. For one that is just is better than 1,000. And better it is to die without children.
Better it is what?
To die without children.
Go ahead.
Than to have them that are ungodly.
You see that? So that's what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. Your children are ungodly. And let's be real. You can train your child to a certain age, and they got to make that decision. You know, after a certain age, they're accountable for themselves. But the scripture does say, train up a child in the way that he will go and he will not depart. So if we're doing the right things and instilling and taking that time, they'll see the value in it. Why does a person leave off of something? They don't see the value. You stay there. They don't see the value and why they should continue in it. So it's up to us as parents to build the value of the Most High in our children. Read that last part again.
Second precept, verse 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 16, verse 3.
Go ahead.
For one that is better,
read it again.
For one that is just is better than 1,000.
You see that? It's better to have one righteous child than 1,000 unprofitable children. Why? Because like we read in Ecclesiastes 30, that one righteous child, he's going to be the avenger of your enemy. He's going to be that carbon copy of that father that was living in righteousness. Go ahead.
And better it is to die without children than to have them that are ungodly.
Yeah. You see that? And you can read down. You can read down in there. Read verse 4.
Verse 4.
That has the understanding, right? Go ahead.
Shall the city be replenished?
Why? How is the city replenished? Because now the Father instilled the things in him to build, to grow, to move things forward. Go ahead.
But the kindred of the wicked shall speedily become desolate.
Why? Because they weren't into growing, building, longevity, wisdom, righteousness. Through sin we die. So the unprofitable child is not going to bring forth these things when it comes to building. So, I mean, hopefully that answered that. And like the brother said, not only that, a lot of our people aren't teaching the law, statutes, and commandments. Way too many bad parents. And we've done a few parenting classes. I think we did like a parenting 101. We hit a lot of different things when it comes to these parenting and you know, raising your children the right way. Any other questions? Any other questions before we get to the reading? I mean, hopefully that answered that question. Let's try to give a little balance on it and show you both sides. Show you both sides. Anything else? Anything else in class before we get to the reading? Remember, we're going to do the reading and then we're going to go out street teaching. Oh, we're going to do a little bit of the Hebrew. Nice. Refresh y'all on that. So, if not, we can start the reading.
Is it real bad?
Sometimes it's really bad.
Yeah, somebody hit me up asking if that was us or them, the connection.
Right.
Yeah.
go through the app to go online.
Oh, YouTube.com?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are having the issue with the internet, try going to youtube.com in your browser. The internet spirit. The internet demon is attacking. Oh. Yeah, the internet demon. So Leviticus chapter 25. Leviticus 25. First? Yeah. Go to.
No, you can't.
You can't eat it because that's basically that was also going along with not eating blood.
That's the dietary law too.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with
the sacrifice, right? I'm trying to use my brain.
Yeah, you got two things going on there. That had to do with the dietary laws. So really, to answer your question really quick, the dietary laws weren't done away with. So no, you're not supposed to eat the fat.
Where you at? Yeah. Let's go there real quick.
You shall in no wise eat of it.
Yeah, you can use the fat for other uses. I made the joke about the last time we read this. Remember in the book of Eli? When he killed the cat? Not saying we're supposed to use cats, but remember he used the cat oil?
Yeah.
And he was like, for the lips? Y'all didn't watch the book of Eli? But, right, God. Or if you, let's deal with the Eskimos. What do they use the whale blubber for? They use that to light their lamps.
The lamps,
yeah. The oil lamps. You see that? But we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to eat any of the fats of any of the animals. Read verse 25.
Verse 25. For whosoever eateth the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, even the soul that eateth it shall be cut off from his people.
Read verse 26.
Right. So y'all see that this is beyond just the sacrifice. This is dietary wise. You weren't supposed to do it. So that still stands.
Read verse 26, because they both go hand in hand.
Verse 26.
Moreover,
ye shall eat no manner of blood.
Right. So we're not supposed to eat blood. Or if I say it has something to do with what you're ingesting and taking in. So the blood, the fat, we weren't supposed to ingest those or eat those. Go ahead.
Whether it be a fowl or a beast, in any of your dwellings.
You see that? So they go hand in hand. Hopefully that answers that question. Anything else? All right, Leviticus 25 and verse 1 for the reading. So we're going to go from Leviticus, Jeremiah, Matthew, a little bit of Acts, some Ephesians. Yep. So, Leviticus chapter 25 and 1 to verse 26.
Come.
Y'all all here?
Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Lord. 3. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field. And 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field, nor prune thy vineyard. That which groweth of its own according of the grapes of thy vines.
We talked about this before. This is, it's reminding us that what Esau didn't do. The white man doesn't give the land a rest. He beats the ground. So this is just showing you in the law, man, that why they have to genetically modify foods, because they don't constantly give the earth a rest, a time, trees, and how they have like vessels, blood vessels, and how the trees give life, because they do. You know, when it says the mother earth, but Esau beats the earth to a pulp, the trees cuts them down, the air he destroys, the water he destroys, like y'all were talking about earlier about the ecosystem. Because he does things out of order, everything is off. So to let the earth, the land, the ground, after 6 years, you're supposed to let it rest in the 7th year. Sort of like a Shabbat. See, the Most High dealt with that number a lot. You were supposed to let the earth rest. But Esau doesn't do that. They keep beating it. They keep taking from it. Now you can't farm there. You can't grow crops there. Why? Because you didn't let it rest over all these generations. Now the land won't bring forth good food, good fruit. Go ahead.
Because they...
You see how the scriptures, because they don't follow the laws and commandments of the Most High, now the earth is suffering. So these are the things we got to keep in mind, man, why these laws were sent forth. You might not understand why all the time, but regardless, if you follow the laws, they bring forth life. Y'all get that?
Right.
The ordinance, just like y'all were talking about earlier with the kids and the family and the household. They changed the order of things. Now everything, you know, in Psalms it says the whole earth is out of. Yeah, meaning, you know what it is to break the everlasting covenant? That means that they found some way to go into the Bible and break every law in the Bible. They broke every contract in the Bible. Everything that the law says, they found out some way to go against it. And this is what hurts the land, the people, the minds, right? It hurts the nations. It hurts, of course it destroyed us because we disobeyed the commandments. But it hurts everything. Go ahead, jump back. So Leviticus 25 is important when you deal with that agriculture and the land and how to deal with your land. Farming. What's up? I thought you had your hand raised. Go ahead.
And that's why now, if you look at the way they farm, half of it 1 year, let that rest, farm another half the next year. It's still wrong because you're supposed to let it rest.
Right.
For the whole 7 year, you know, you're supposed to let it rest in that 7 years.
Right.
Because the earth is, like you said, it's just beat down.
Yeah.
Yield after yield after yield. Now it's like, well, we got to let it rest a little bit.
Right.
So they still try to do it, but they do it wrong, so they're still breaking the covenant. They try to find a loophole or a way around it.
Yeah, like doing it in sections.
Yeah, that's what they do. If you go to a lot of, you know, you take a lot of drives and you go to these farmlands, you'll see like one part is empty and desolate. It's been tilled up.
Right.
You let it rest, and another part actually has crop. It's just a way for them to try to get around, but it still doesn't work. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 5. That which groweth of its own according to thy harvest, thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of thy vine, undressed. For it is a year of rest unto the land.
So even in that 7th year when the land was resting, you weren't supposed to go out and pick whatever grew. You were supposed to leave that alone.
Yeah, you know, you would totally not do anything on it. Yeah. You would totally not have anything on it. So.
Well, yeah. Well, it says whatever grew it, so.
Right, for the last.
Okay, right.
For the last year.
Right.
What's that?
I let it grow over.
Yeah, like from the sixth year, whatever is now growing over on that, just let it rest. Don't go in there. Don't go try to, you know, do anything to the land, because what's going to happen is it's not going to bring forth. I mean, look around. Look at the earth, man. It's dry, it's dead. If you ever been to Atlanta? Atlanta, man, got nothing but trees. It's beautiful. Go to Lilburn, they got more trees, they got more land. When we just came back from Trinidad, everything, the trees, the land, the fruit on the trees. You know, you can see the earth is a little more alive. Here it's like they said, it's a concrete jungle. Why? Because the land, first of all, they laid the land is filled with semen everywhere. Now the land can't breathe. The earth can't breathe. So, yeah, like I said, what you were saying earlier about the ecosystem in the water. Water breathe. They take out all the animals out of the water that clean the water and eat those. Now that throws the ecosystem off. So yeah.
The Sabbath of the land shall be meat for you.
For you kids. Y'all get your pens, take good notes, note in your Bible, write down what this culture is going into farming. Okay, go ahead.
And the Sabbath of the land shall be meat for you, for thee and for thy servants, and thy maid, and for thy hire shall all the increase thereof be meat. 8. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths shall be unto thee 49 years. Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month, in the day throughout all your land. And ye shall hallow the 5th year, the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. A jubilee shall be the 15th year you. Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of thy vine undressed. For it is the Jubilee. It shall be holy unto you. Ye shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. In the year of this Jubilee ye shall return every man unto his possession. And if thou sell or buyest, and according unto the number of years of the fruit he shall sell unto thee. 16. According to the multitude of years thou shalt increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of years thou shalt diminish the price of it. For according to the number of the years of the fruit doeth he sell unto thee. 17. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another, but thou shalt fear the Lord, fear thy God, for I am the Lord thy God. 18. Wherefore ye shall do my statutes, and keep my judgments, and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety. 19. And the land shall yield her fruit, and ye shall eat your fill, and dwell therein in safety. 20.
So, Jubilee in Hebrew is Yabalah, which is Yabal, and it's the blast of a horn. It's continuous sound, specifically the signal of the silver trumpet, hence the instrument itself, the festival thus introduced. So you would blow your horns on these days, and it would represent that the land is being given rest. Y'all get that? So it's Yah-ba-la. That's how you spell it for you Hebrew scholars. Yabal is how you say it. Or they got it in future tense here. It's Yahwabal. Yahwabal. Yah-wa-ba-la. So that's what Jubilee means. All right, go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 25, verse 20. And if ye shall say, what shall we eat the 7th year? Behold, we shall not sow nor gather in our increase. 21. Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years. 22.
So, because you take care of the land, now you benefit.
And this is where Esau's like, we're not gonna have faith in this.
Right. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Guess what we gotta do? We're gonna be faithless, and we're gonna till the land year after year after year after year.
And this teaches the Israelites that for us to abide in faith, to us to be faithful, so now that it will be sufficient for the next year.
Yep.
Yeah. You got to trust in the Most High. You had to have faith. Everything the law taught was spiritual, but we wouldn't get those things. Why? Because we were just doing
the manna down, and he said, listen, take what you need for that day, don't store it, right? And what do? We try to store it up, and what happened to it? It rotted before the next day came. But every day he would send that manna down. It was just about having faith.
Yeah.
The law is spiritual, but I'm carnal. And we didn't want to realize that. We didn't want to see, we had these forgetful memories, man, where we forgot all the good things the Most High did. Something so small that may let you eat every single day.
Brothers and sisters, in that moment of the epiphanies and the awakening, they're like, wow, man, the Most High, and they bear witness, and they want to get spiritual talk with you. And he took you through the car accidents. He took you through the woman leaving you. He took you through the rough time with the bills and all these things. You're forgetting those things, and then when it's time for you to apply faith, you don't have that as your treasure. You don't have those things as your treasure.
So you try to take it upon yourself.
You panic.
You panic.
You lose.
Yep.
Right. Now you bring more sin. You add sin to sin because you don't want to abide faithful. It goes back to one of our favorite chapters is Ecclesiastes 2 in the Apocrypha. When you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation. But when you read down, it tells you that you got to be faithful. Woe to you that has lost patience. So it's beautiful how you can go in the law and you can pull out these moments of spirituality also. That we didn't look at them spiritual before. Before it was just do the commandment. Now we can look at them both. We can look at the commandment, standing in the learn. We're not looking at it blindly no more.
Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 22. And ye shall sow the 8th year, and eat of the old fruit until the 9th year. Until the fruit come in, ye shall eat of the old store. 23. The land shall not be...
So that means that the food had to be preserved. So we weren't these foolish people that didn't understand. I always make a joke, like, we didn't know how to brush our teeth until the Romans came. No, man, we had wisdom and knowledge how to take care of the land. We had wisdom and knowledge how to preserve the food. We had refrigerators back then. They weren't refrigerators like now, but there was a way we had to preserve the foods. It wasn't the Roman Empire coming in and they showed us how to put on pants and walk with wisdom.
They didn't even wear pants.
Yeah, they didn't even wear pants. But that's what, school would have the kids think, until the Roman Empire civilization started when the Roman Empire came about. And no, man, the Roman Empire, the white man stole everything. Yeah.
It started with Joseph. We already knew.
There you go.
7 years of plenty, then 7 years of drought.
Yeah.
Stored it up.
Yep.
Yeah, but listen, you're right. But even before that, remember the Most High gave commandments to Adam, and Adam gave it to his kids. So the scriptures tell you that we had the commandments, we had the laws. So this wisdom went all the way down to the seed, and the ones that kept the laws it furthered them. And we know the Most High chose Israel above all nations to keep those laws. See, but some of the nations still kept the wisdom that they learned from Adam. What's that show we were watching yesterday?
Origin.
Yeah, it's this show on Netflix called Origins, where they go through the origin of, you know, they went specifically from the origins of the gun. But it just shows you that the white man stole everything. They didn't come up with nothing. They took the origin, whether it was gunpowder, they took that from China. They didn't come up with that. Whether it was what other?
The helicopter.
Yeah, the helicopter. They took that from China. No, Japan. You know what I mean? They stole every concept and then made it their own, and you know, mastered a lot of it. I'm not gonna even say mastered, because you know, China and Japan, the Chinese, they're way more advanced than America. Yeah. So you know, y'all just have to see, man. We have to, when we read these chapters, okay, when we read the law, y'all have to also add your spiritual mind to it. Reading the law is important when you look into it, because you're going to see that, man, the Most High is teaching you something spiritual. Remember, it tells you in Hebrews about the veil. We went over this a few classes back. I mean, we got to be spiritual and learning the spiritual things in the law. So just keep that in mind as we read, and as y'all get bored. You know what I mean? Because you think it's not important. You got to get the spiritual out of it. Go ahead.
The land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine, for ye are strangers and sojourners with me. 24. And in all the land of your possession ye shall grant a redemption for the land. 25. If thy brother redeem it, and himself be able to redeem it.
So, the next brother.
Carlos Shabbatashal Banyanyam Banyasharala.
Carlos Shabbatashal Banyanyam Banyasharala.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
And what he said is his name, his tribe, and his nation. Carlos, tribe of Benjamin, nation of Israel. You're going to read from Leviticus 25:27 down to verse 52.
All right, Leviticus 25:27. Then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the overplus unto the man to whom he sold it, that he may return unto his possession. But if he be not able to restore it to him, then that which is sold shall remain in the hand of him that had bought it until the year of Jubilee.
Right, so you're giving the family the option to come back and get this land. You know how these demons do us now? They take your land and it's theirs, it's done. The Most High didn't do that. Why? Because this land, you would be able to pass it down to your generations. Talking about the kids earlier, right? You would be able to pass this land down to your children. So you would have, if your brother becomes poor, right? He sells part of his property, the next of kin can come and help get that land back. Y'all see that? Man, this is your generation's wealth. That's what they do. That's why they put you in a car and charge you, what, was it 29%, 30% interest? You know, why? Because it's about keeping you in captivity under usury. And then next thing you know, they what? They bound you to these contracts and you keep owing when you break them. So you gotta see, man, that wow, in every way they break the laws of the Most High, and they keep us in captivity. So this is bad.
Leviticus 25:28. But if he be not able to...
I like 26 again.
You want me to?
Yeah, read 26 again.
Leviticus 25:26. And if a man have none to redeem it, and to whom he sold it.
You got to let him get it back. You understand? You got to give this guy an option to get that land back. We ain't got land. You see? And then you
can't have solar panels off the grill.
Right.
The grid. They charge you for that.
Yeah, you gotta still be connected to electricity. Their electricity. That's about control. That's slavery. Remember, the earth is the Most High's. The earth was. What the hell I gotta pay for electricity when I can create my own electricity? Why I gotta go buy your fruit when I can set up my whole backyard for the service that I need? Y'all see that? So each and every way what they've done is show you, keep you in captivity. Excuse me. They keep you in captivity in every way, man. This is insane. It's crazy because I'm just realizing just another point that Esau has power over us. They don't give you that option.
Yeah, may I say something?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you think about it, you buy your house and the house is not really yours.
No.
Because you cannot paint your house whatever color you want to paint your house. You know, you have to go through the HOA
Yeah.
to get permission to do something to your own house. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought this was my house, right? I thought this was a free America, right? But that's all the illusion, because you don't pay those taxes on the house. You can own the land, but you still gotta pay taxes. I thought I owed the land. No, you don't really own it. You tried to get ahead. They created it to where they keep control of how much you get ahead. Think about how many rich movie stars buy all these houses and all that. And you be rich for 10, 20 years, but then you fall. You fall from stardom, right? You end up working like Vanilla Ice at the supermarket. It's sad. But you had this money for this a long time, and then but you fall into poverty and you lose all that? That's insane. You were supposed to own that property 30 years in advance.
Every year you got to pay taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really, realistically, do you think the property is yours?
No.
Nope.
That's the American first kingdom of heaven. And all these things shall be added to you, to lay your treasures up in heaven, where moth and rust doeth not corrupt. Go ahead, Ike.
Leviticus 25:27, last precept. Which is sold shall remain in the hand of him that had bought it until the year of Jubilee. And in the Jubilee it shall go out, and he shall return unto his possession. And if a man sell a dwelling house in a walled city, then he may redeem it within a whole year after to him that bought it throughout his generation. It shall not go out in the Jubilee. But the houses of the villages which have not walled, and the houses of the city of their possessions, may the Levites redeem at any time. That if a man purchase of the Levites, then the house that was sold and the city of his possession shall go out in the year of Jubilee. For the houses of the city of the Levites are their possessions among the children of Israel. But the field of the suburbs of their cities may not be sold, for it is their perpetual possession. And if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yeah, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live within thee.
So you see that? If you see your brother waxing and falling in decay, you don't just be like, yeah, nigga, that's you.
I'm good over here.
I'm good over here.
Like today.
Yeah, well, that's what they taught us. They took away the spirit of brotherhood from us, to where we don't have any compassion on our brother, on our neighbor. You know, even now, you got a lot of selfish brothers and sisters that you got the wisdom, the knowledge, you're growing, right? You're changing, your hair is getting thick, your skin is oiled, right? But you right? You're emotional as hell, but you got people out there actually hurting, mothers. You're like, you look at this just down the block. Our people are hurting. But you got the wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and instead of using it, but then how many of our brothers and sisters, kids, is in the ghettos, in the slums, like we talked about, getting high, doing dope? How many? Your family's good. Your rib got a job. You got a nice car. You living it up. In a mental disorder for what? In a mental chaos for what? You're writing out some self-guilt for what? Because you take for granted what the Most High has given you, man. And it's pathetic. Because the Most High has given us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be the strength and the backbone to our people. So you gotta see, man, how selfish that is. And the scriptures, the laws didn't teach us to be like that. You know what I mean? It taught us to how to take compassion on our people and see what's needed for them. And the least thing you can do, the scriptures say, is your reasonable sacrifice. As you was freely given, as you freely receive, you freely give. See, but the white man taught you, just take, and then when it's time.
36. Take thou no usury of him, or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee.
Right, so we Israelites, we don't charge usury. Usury is, if I give my water, if I give you $10, and I ask for, you got to give me 10, how much? I'm bad at percentages.
A lot.
Yeah, I know, you got to give me $15 back or something.
Yeah.
Right? You see that? You don't supposed to do that. If you give me 10, if I give you 10, it's usury. You're using them for your gain. When they're in a lower state and in need, you take the advantage. That's all. The payday loans are done. Don't get a payday loan. Oh man, you might as well give your spirit up with that.
Yeah, I used to work for these business agencies doing construction and dollar for dollar.
What?
But they know that this is all in the ghettos and the slums. You know, because we want to, well, first of all, you were talking about it a little bit earlier about finances. We don't know how to deal with finances. We buy all the wrong things.
The thing about with interest is if you go get a car, let's say your car is $15,000.
Yeah.
And you got some high interest rate up in the 20s. That's like another $15,000. So or $10,000, but you don't start paying the principal of the loan until after you pay off all the interest. That's why you have, like, they call it with cars.
Yeah.
You're paying that financing for 3-4 years, and then by the time the car's already depreciated, lost value.
Right. So you get it at 30,000 miles. In 3 years, you're going to put another 75,000 miles on that. 25,000.
Like, well, so it is 25.
Stop it. Who drives 12 a year? I don't care.
The average
Israelite or not.
The average American drives 12.
Nah, hell no.
Nah.
Really? 12 a year?
I drive about 18,000 miles a year.
18,000 miles a year?
The average is 12.
Not us.
Not us. That's why I said Israelite miles.
We're doing 30,000 miles a year.
No, we're doing 30,000.
I know, right? 10,000 miles.
No.
He's retired, right?
Listen, you know that Hyundai Sonata?
Yeah.
When I came back from Japan in 2015, he got it in 2008. He had less than 40,000 miles on it, man.
Wow. Okay, well, You know, so Israelite miles.
Yeah, Israelite miles is, yeah.
Yeah, because you're doing a lot. You're running a lot. But, you know, even in these cases, you start to be, the car is way depreciated.
Yeah.
You know, so by the time you even get into this loan, your car's already old.
It's not worth what you're paying.
It's not. And then when you go trade it in, they call it you being upside down, meaning you owe money. So the value of the car is going to be added to your next loan.
If you don't pay off the car.
If you don't pay off that car.
Yeah. It's terrible.
So it's a never-ending cycle.
It's a never-ending cycle.
It keeps you in the system.
It keeps you in the system, man.
You know, I just wanted to add, I had experience with that about a year and a half ago with my daughter, and she had lost her car. Of course, not making payments, but she was going to purchase another car, and she was at the dealership, and she called me, and she said, "Dad, I'm gonna get this car." I said, "Okay," and I said, "You know what? Don't sign anything till I get there."
Right.
So once I got there and I looked over the paperwork, there was about to charge him 19% on a $14,000 car, right? So I pulled my daughter to the side. I said, "Jazz, let's do this times 19% times 5 years."
Yeah.
You know the value, by the time you come up with the total, right? That means she was going to pay for that car twice.
Yeah, about 30, 40.
Wow.
$21,000 car. It came out to like 45,000. Yeah, I have that credit. But and I needed the car, so I was like, let's do it.
That's why you kids need to take care of your credit.
Yeah.
You need to make sure right when you turn 18, especially in school and in the hood, and that's, you know, I mean
but think about it though. In the hood, no, there's a way to build your child's credit the right way, because in the hood. So
and it will build, but once again, you gotta be on point.
Yeah.
Because it can hurt them too.
Yeah, you can do things to establish credit for your children early, and when they turn 18, because credit is a catch-22.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you can't get it.
Right. And here's the thing, man. We gotta talk about things like that to educate our kids. They're not being educated spiritually. They're not being educated with the wisdom of how to take care of your finances and think about your future. We hope Yahweh Shai is here tomorrow. You know what I mean? But the case is, it might not be that.
We still have finances when you look at it.
Right.
We still dealt with financial situations, and we weren't supposed to be naive over how to manage money and manage our resources.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to be naive with that and just say, well, crisis is coming, and just blow your credit,
right,
shoot it down the drain. You weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Doc.
All right, Leviticus 25:37. Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him the victuals for increase. I am the Lord your God, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your God. And if thy brother that dwell by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant, but as an hired servant and as a sojourner. He shall be with thee.
Yeah,
and
so you were going to, you weren't going to make this guy your slave. You was going to pay him. You know, you was going to help him get off his feet, but by paying him. You know, but not by making him decrease more and more, and loan more and more, and owe more and more, and it constantly keep this guy in bondage.
Right.
You understand that? See, this is where brotherhood and love was mixed in our laws, unity, and thinking about our nation. Go ahead.
The last precept.
Verse 39?
Yeah, 39. Leviticus 25:39. Last precept. Thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant, but as a hired servant and as the sojourner. He shall be with thee, and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee. And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear thy God. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you.
The rigor, meaning that, you know, the rigor is, the other scripture in the Apocrypha says, be not excessive towards any. So, you weren't excessive in his servitude or his job. The scriptures teach us that we can't be excessive in things we do, overbearing. We've been kind of reminded that when you come to serve the Lord, it got to be from your heart. If it's in your mind too much, well, then maybe you need to sit in class. But when you're ready to actually give your heart on the certain levels in your spirit and your service, your body, then step into that position. Because it don't supposed to be through rigor. You got to know what you're dealing with. You know, just like any job. You got to go work at McDonald's or work at anywhere. You know, okay, this is what I'm being hired for. So, you know, we have to remind brothers and sisters that come in that, okay, you're a member. But if you want to move up and do other things in the body, in the ministry, it's got to be from your heart, not from you know what you got to do, you really don't want to do it, but you're going to do it. That's not how you do things. The scripture said you got to have a willing heart. So two things I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the leadership or the person that you're dealing with weren't supposed to deal with rigor, but also your mind, if it's rigorous to you, right, then maybe you have to step back in the beginning stage. You know, if passing out flyers is rigorous, you can't stomach it and get your spirit up to help out in that way. Well, then maybe you just need to start with coming to class. So when you're ready to step past that and say, nah, that's not, it's just me being lazy, ungrateful, unthankful. I got my arms, my legs, my limbs, my body. Let me use them for the Most High. But that got to be put in your mind through you. You understand that? It's very important.
It builds bitterness, man.
Yeah, it builds bitterness. You got a lot of brothers and sisters, we go through the scriptures and like, the Most High is requiring this. Brothers are like, yeah, I got to do that. Sisters are like, I got to put my spirit in, but I really don't want to. But I know the scripture said you got to do it, but I really don't want to. You better come to terms between you and the Most High. Don't get into something, then draw back. That's worse. Draw back. You don't want to do that. The scripture say, first of all, he that doubteth is damned if he eateth. One, and the Most High said to them that draw back, he got no part. Build yourself, strengthen yourself to move forward. So this rigor thing is very important. Go ahead.
Leviticus 25:24.
Can I get Exodus real quick?
Yeah.
Go to Exodus 14. Did to us.
Yeah.
And this is what the Most High was trying to take us out of that scene. Excuse me. Exodus 1 and 14.
Exodus chapter 1 and verse 14.
Verse 13.
Verse 13.
Go ahead.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
We did what?
Made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Yeah, it was. But this is what it built. Go ahead.
And made their lives bitter with hard bondage.
It made their lives what?
Bitter.
Yeah, now you bitter. So that's just talking about what the Egyptians did to us on this physical level. But think about now when it's time for you to give yourself, like Kazaki was going into, and you don't really want to do it. Because really that rigor is when you don't want to do something. After a while, you're going to build up some type of bitterness for whatever it is that you have to, or whatever it is that you're doing. You're not going to find the love in it. You're going to find the reasons why not to do it, why you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Go ahead, read on.
With hard bondage.
With what?
Hard bondage.
And this is what we weren't supposed to be inflicting on our brothers. Coming out of a hard bondage, why am I going to put my brother in hard bondage?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In mortar, and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field.
Yeah.
Exhaustive. Exhausting. made it hard for us. They didn't make it easy. You know, and we gotta, it's supposed to be easy for you. And we have to realize that a lot of times that the word beats at your conscience, and a lot of brothers and sisters that are still in a young mind, you figure I'm going to do it, but I really don't want to do it. That's not what you want to do. You want to do it from your heart and know you want to do it. That way there's no setbacks when you do put in. Y'all got that? Go ahead.
Leviticus 25:44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be on the heathens
of the
heathens that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover,
so Israel will be servants for hire. You see that? Israel wouldn't be the bond. They would be treated like the heathens would be treated. Y'all get that? We would be dealing with that. That's this word servant is misconstrued.
Yeah.
It's misconstrued, especially in the New Testament. The New Testament concept is
Slaves.
Right. No, back in the days, it's slaves.
Yeah.
But a servant would be like a student. You know, a master would be the teacher. See, but yeah, like Elisha and Elijah. You know, so the bond, the slave men and slave women were supposed to be of the other nations, right? Even though we still had rules on them also, but you wouldn't treat your brother like that. Go ahead.
25:45. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and their families that are with you, which they begot in your land, and they shall be your possession. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever, but over your brethren, the children, with rigor. And if a sojourner or stranger wax rich by thee, and thy brother that dwell by him wax poor, and sell himself unto the stranger or sojourner by deed, or after that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of them may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin unto him of his family may redeem him, or if he be able, he may redeem himself. And he shall reckon with him that bought him for the year that he was sold to him unto the year of Jubilee. And the price of his sale shall be according unto the numbers of years, according to the time of an hired servant shall it be with him. If there be yet many years behind, according unto them, he shall give again the price of his redemption out of the money that he was bought for. And if there remain but few years unto the years of Jubilee, then he shall count with him. And according unto the years he shall give him again the price of his redemption. And as of many yearly hired servants shall he be with him. And the other shall...
That's it on that.
Verse 52, yeah.
Yeah, verse 52. All right. Next, brother.
Shabbat ban Yamyam ban Yashrala.
Makarab, Shabbat Shah, Ban Yanyan, Ban Yashala.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Rakatam.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Rakatam.
What is it?
Leviticus 25:53.
Leviticus.
And he's going to read to 26, then 23.
Leviticus chapter 25, verse 53. And as a yearly hired servant shall he be with him, and the other shall not rule with rigor over him in thy sight. And if he be not redeemed in these years, then he shall go out in the year of Jubilee, both he and his children with him. For unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 1. Ye shall make you no idols nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it. For I am the Lord your God.
Very, very important. That make images to bow down. You can have pictures in your house, images. Right, a lot of people. Bro, we had angels all through the France. We yeah. The important part here is that you weren't to bow to them. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths, and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. If ye walk in my statutes, and keep my commandments, and do them, then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time. Verse 8. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight.
So, why do you think right now, man, a little police woman can run a whole flight of, you know, it's like when you look at these slave movies, big black brothers, you know what I mean, mighty men, but by one little dude with a whip, you was put in order. By one little dude he broke our confidence, he broke our manhood, because we disobeyed the laws and commandments of the Most High. Go ahead.
Second precept, verse 8. And your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. For I will have respect unto you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you. And ye shall eat old store, and bring forth the old because of the new. And I will set my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. And I will walk among you, and will be your God, and ye shall be my people. I am the Lord your God, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that ye should not be their bondmen. And I have broken the bands of your yoke, and make you go upright.
And the point is that we're not bound to America, man. We put ourselves in bondage to America, to the ideas and beliefs, and this life. When this ain't our kingdom. This ain't our fight. We don't have to go out there. We don't have to kill nobody. We don't have to blow nobody up. We don't have to shoot nobody. We have to fight for our kingdom, which is in the spirit. Because they already got this. This is theirs. This is their America. This ain't ours, man. This ain't our kingdom. Christ said, if this were my kingdom, then will my servants fight. If it was about taking over this, America is going to be a continual burning, a continual memorial. Yeah. Yeah. So this isn't our kingdom. Be successful. Have a job. Have an education. Fine. But where are you laying up your treasure at? And how do you lay up that treasure for the Most High? You see, those are the things you should be asking yourself and knowing that way you don't walk in darkness like everybody else in this world. Go ahead.
Verse 14. But if ye will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burden odd.
Right, and this goes with Deuteronomy 28, and I'm going to say this. You children in here, y'all kids better listen to this. Because as we were talking about earlier, about training a child and a child learning the wisdom of the Most High, all the pain and suffering that you're going to take, you're going to go through, if you, as you get older, despise the commandments of the Most High, you're going to go through that same pain that a lot of your parents went through that they didn't have to go through. But you're going to go through it. You're going to go through the 50 husbands, the baby daddies. You're going to go through the being abused. You're going to go through the anxiety. You're going to go through, I can't please nobody in the world. You're going to go through, my image needs to be up to, put your spirit into the laws and commandments of the Most High. You don't understand. Your mind is not going to be able to withstand these things in this life. That's why a lot of our people are suffering now. That's why they're on drugs, they're on pills, they're drinking themselves into oblivion. They're going around and having sex with this person and that person to try to make themselves feel like somebody. Because they don't got no higher calling. You got to have a higher calling. The Most High has to be at the forefront of your mind, or all these pains that he's seen, you're going to suffer. That's why I tell my daughter, go around and ask the sisters what they had to go through as young women. Because their mama didn't teach them how to use wisdom. Their mama didn't teach them the commandments of the Most High. Their mama didn't teach them the laws. So guess what they had to go through? 5 boyfriends that 6. You don't have to go through that. You got the laws, you don't have to go through that. You don't got to go through diabetes and high blood pressure. Right? You don't have to go through that because you know not to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, and oysters. You know what I mean? You don't have to go through it. From high blood pressure and anxiety, and you want to pop pills to make it to the next day, or drink liquor to make it to the next day, then you will disobey these commandments. If you don't want that, then you'll walk in life and you'll follow the laws. Which was this?
And I was like, man, I wish somebody taught me at a younger age
to eat right.
How to eat right. I didn't start drinking until I was 21.
Right.
You got something I started drinking when they're 13.
Right.
But even when I did start drinking, I was an animal.
Right.
I didn't have that moderation. I didn't learn that. But I was thinking, and I was thinking about my kids, and I'm like, they'll live forever without all these ailments.
Right.
The knee problems, the back, the head, the headaches, all these different things that we got to take like herbs every 5 minutes to get rid of. And but if they follow,
your back is, you can't move.
They got the hunchback, and they got to walk with a cane, and they got arthritis and gingivitis and bad knees.
Like a lot of us.
Yeah.
A lot of us is because at a young age, we weren't given the wisdom how to eat, think, to act, to feel, to breathe, to walk, dress.
Because in my mind, I'm still like 20. In my mind.
Yeah.
But I know damn well if I get up on that court.
Basketball court, yeah. Your body's going to tell you you're 40.
Like 50.
You're 50, yeah.
I went to the dentist the other day to get a checkup. They told me I had to lose all my teeth.
Wait, say that one more time?
I went to the dentist the other day.
Yeah.
To get a checkup. They told me they had to pull all my teeth out.
Yeah, they did that to my uncle. He had to pull every one of his teeth out.
They ain't done them yet.
And you know what's crazy is that's what I've been telling the kids.
Yeah.
Because they go in, they don't floss, they don't brush their teeth fully, and you know, luckily my son he got some silver in his mouth, but those are his baby teeth. And I'm like, you don't want to have your real teeth like that, because then you got to get them pulled, and like you said, perfect example, you'll get older and not that old.
I don't even know it because I wasn't hurting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So they probably gonna end up
that research, because you can heal your gums, before you pull them all out. You know, coconut oil too. Also, I mean, there's a lot. I'm sure you can do herb-wise before you just pull out all your teeth.
Yeah, but I also got, I just had a kidney transplant.
Right.
Because I called my doctors, I asked them about it, they said, yeah, because if you got bad teeth, it can affect my kidney.
Wow.
So I'm in like a catch-20. Right now they got no antibiotics.
Real, bro.
Yeah, gum disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's little things like that, man, that the law, this education in the law, it teaches us how to live forever. But America don't do that, man. They're like, eat anything, drink anything, do as your heart feels. As long as you pay your taxes and pay your tickets, you can do whatever you like and whatever you feel. And it's not like that, man. You got to take care of your body, your mind, your spirit. You know, your vessel is where the spirit dwells of the Most High. So you got to take care of it to do these things, to live long.
Because the older you get, you know, the worse you get. Especially when you start out with bad food and stuff.
Yep.
Then it catch up with that in the age.
See, a lot of my kids, we don't do a lot of the candy. We didn't do a lot of meat and stuff. You know, and it's, let me give the disclaimer. It's not wrong to eat meat. What I'm saying is we choose at a time not to eat all that. But now they're eating a little more. They're eating a little, you know, the processed foods in school. I'm like, I had to tell them, listen, choose a salad. You know what I mean? Stop eating the dang
nuggets,
processed nuggets that come from the bottom of a cow's pussy butt. You know.
They got to do it because they got somebody in the house to teach you.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody don't
at a young age, you know, they didn't have it. Listen, my dad had the knowledge. Well, truthfully, he ate right. I ain't gonna lie. He ate right. You know, my mom didn't though. You know, so it's you get that. That's that division in the house that was there.
So I just got my mom to stop eating, you know, pork and all the other bad food.
But how old is she?
86.
85, 86, barely. Yeah. So she got a lot of catching up to do. Come on,
she ain't never been sick though.
Ain't that a trip? But Judah do that though. Judah does that. You know, they can be doing crack their whole life. Like it's the skin pigment. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying do crack all your life. You know, what I'm saying is like my grandma, she was like 70, smoking weed all the way till she was 70. You know what I mean? 80 years old, and it's like, you know, the darker the flesh, the more it protects you from a lot of those things. But I'm not saying, hey, do those things. Just know that, you know, it's true. Your skin pigment. It's true. He's like, I'm gifted. You know what I mean? Your skin pigment helps you out a lot. You know, so, but we gotta, the wisdom most of all has to help you. You know, regardless if you're dark skinned or light skinned, you know what I mean? The wisdom of the Most High is going to help you and get you for a long life. Go ahead.
Verse 16. I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burden of you.
You hear that? Terror. You know, that not knowing, that's terror. You know, how your next day and your life and how you feel, that's a terror to wake up like that. Unsure, scared of everything. You're having bad dreams every day of your life. You got to take pills to calm your mind down. You know how many at your young age, a lot of y'all young ages. Why? Because you let things worry you. Don't need to worry you. Your mental stability to let them know that who gives a damn about what these kids say in school. And then they get older and they care about what people say more than the Most High.
My sister wanted to commit suicide.
Right.
And it was only because of finals. And for us, we were like...
She couldn't pass her paperwork.
Right.
Your finals means she couldn't do her schoolwork. And she wanted to kill
I was like...
Kill yourself every year because you have stability. The law, statutes, and commandments give you stability and a higher purpose. Like you know, if you're trying to reach the Most High, midterm papers ain't gonna kill you. Why? You got things to reach higher above midterms and cars and bills and makeup and how you look. You got a higher calling. You understand that? So you have to see where the law fulfills and makes you reach higher than these carnal things in this life. These carnal things are worthless. Garbage. We were talking about the other day. You get a 2009, now you need a 2018. You get a 21. That's how it works. Your house is, you get a brand new house, guess what? The roof is leaking. You know what I mean? The garbage disposal out of order. Everything breaks down in this world. So if you think that's going to fulfill your mind, things that are what?
I mean, like I was reading the book of Ecclesiastes, Solomon.
Uh-huh.
You know, if you read it, he's saying all these carnal things that he has. And all these carnal things that he has, and he's saying it's all vanity.
It's all vanity.
Who has more than me? You know, that's what he's saying. But
Yeah.
it's like, you're not on my level, and it's nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he had the women, the cars, the chariots.
Like,
he said all is vanity to where.
That's why he got it, because he was like, we talked about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's like the more you want it, the more you don't get it, but the more you don't care.
Yeah, yeah. The more you don't care, it comes.
It comes.
But when you live your life for that, that's when those things don't come. You know, you kill to do those things. And look at our people. How many of our people kill to get there? And they that much far behind of not having. But when you give your heart and your spirit to the Most High, He makes those things. I mean, none of us is rich in here, but guess what? You're not out begging. Your teeth are not falling out your head. You know what I mean? The Most High He's got you living, breathing, alive, healthy. You see that? Why? Because you are using the commandments of the Most High. You are using the laws of the Most High. Because you continue to do that, your life. You got all your life. The children in here, you got your life ahead of you. Some of us still young in here too.
Like me.
Yeah. You ain't like, y'all ain't 70. Nobody in here is 70 or 80. How old are you, Ron?
62.
62? You know? He's still young. 60 is young. Look at him. He look young as hell. Does he look 60? No. But with all the battling he's been going through, look at how the Most High still, as he changed over to the laws, is that quick. The laws will bring you to life. Yes, he has old things haunting him from the past, but he's still, the Most High is still helping him through that. You can start now. The Most High said, why will ye die, O Israel? Go ahead, read on.
Second precept. That shall consume the eyes, and cause seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursueth you.
Yeah, this is that Deuteronomy. We're still free. Some of us are free in our mind. We might not be free from the actual bondage and servitude, but a lot of us are free spiritually. And it's truth. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins.
Ooh.
And I will break the pride of your power.
Where you at?
Yeah, that's. Oh.
Verse 18, right?
Where at?
Leviticus 20.
26 and 18.
26 and 18.
Yeah, see, it started from that 14, though. He said he would break your pride. And I was reading in that Ezekiel 16 about the beauty. It says, the Most High beautified us, but you trust in your own beauty. You know, the thing is that the Most High shows you what real beauty is, and power is, and success is, and living is. But you look at the nations, and you want to emulate them. Just because there's success, that don't mean there's happiness. Just because there's wealth, that don't mean there's joy. You know what I mean? The Most High, godliness with contentment is gain. You know, a lot of these people that are rich, they're suffering. Why? Because they don't have their mind. Go ahead.
And I will make your heaven as brass, and I will make your heaven as iron, and your earth as brass.
Yeah.
And your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not.
Isn't that the Israelite thing? Man, I've been working so hard to get ahead, and you just can't.
Right. Cool.
Go ahead.
Listen, you've been working so hard with your 401k. You try to pull out from that, they still hit you with taxes.
Oh man.
Listen, you only can take out a percentage. So I'm gonna give you this amount of what you put in 401k.
Oh no?
No, but they still. Yeah, they still tax you though if you want to take like a chunk out of it.
Yeah.
Or they give you a certain percentage or a certain amount that they think that you should have. So you don't get like, for example, my mom, she did like a dollar for a dollar.
Yeah.
So say you put in 100,000 or 10,000, they give you 20,000. But you can't really touch that though. Until a certain age, you gotta work until like 70 or 50. Like maybe 70 or 60. It's your money though.
Yeah.
And your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not yield her increase, neither shall the trees of the land yield their fruits. And if ye walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you according to your sins.
Wow, this goes right with Deuteronomy, but this is, man, 7 times more as we are, man. He didn't only put the curses on us, he put 7 times more because we want to be rebellious and stubborn and stiff-necked. And, you know, this is written into the code of the Spirit. This is already written. The Most High doesn't have to micromanage. It's already written. When you do against the wisdom and the laws of the Most High, you automatically make the wrong decisions. You look at people that ain't humble to the scriptures, it's like, why? We be thinking like, you're creating this. Like you got so much anger in you. They go to the welfare office. They get in a fight with the people over there. They go to the. It's like, what's wrong with you? You're creating your own pain and suffering. You know what I mean? They in the hood, but what do? They perpetuate the hood mentality of killing each other, shooting each other, robbing each other, envying one another. It's like your own stupidity is just a consistent cycle that the Most High has put on you 7 times more. And man, it keeps you down. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject you. Go ahead.
Verse 22. I will also send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children.
Yeah, that's niggas in the hood. That's the beast. It's the hood mentality. It's keeping you in that ghetto mind state. You don't ever want to rise above. You think you have to be there. You can pay for a 1-bedroom apartment in 5th Ward for how much?
1 bedroom?
Yeah, 1 bedroom.
Right, about 3, 4,
How much?
$400.
$400. You can pay $300 more and get up out of that condition. But you rather be in the middle of the hood, keeping it real. Just because you want to be around death and drugs, you want to be around dope, because you grew up with this slave mind. And our people don't see that. You like it. You know, some of them be paying $800 still in the hood. You know, and you can get an apartment in Sugar Land for that amount. At least somewhere close on the outskirts.
And destroy your cattle, and make you few in number. And your highways shall be governed by me by these things, but will walk contrary unto me.
This is cold. Go ahead. Oh, that was it? All right, so that was verse what? 23?
Yeah, that's going to be added to the arsenal right there.
Okay, next, brother.
Who is it? Y'all gonna learn the easy way or the hard way?
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakatham.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakatham.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's nice and fans.
Could you turn that fan back on? Fans, fans. Oh, I see you over there. Is that new?
I got a little bit.
Oh, okay.
That's what you
Yeah.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one you need.
Oh, all terrible. God.
All right, where we at? Leviticus 26:24 down to Leviticus 27:3.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 24. Then will I also walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins. And I will bring a sword upon you, that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant.
Man.
Yeah, what's up?
Nah, it's funny because it's like the Most High is like, it's like a parent. It's like you give him like a verbal warning.
Right.
Then you might take away his Jordans.
Right.
And then it's like, dang, you didn't get that. Well, now I'm going to have to actually spank you because it goes from like, I'm going to mess up your land, then I'm going to go to your kids, then I'm going to literally rob you of your kids, obviously murder. But he's like, I'm trying to reform you, but it's like, you ain't used to like listen.
You want to walk contrary.
Yeah, it's like there's levels that the Most High is trying to deal with us, and it's like, that stubbornness just gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
Nasty.
I mean, it's a beautiful warning, man, to remind us why we're doing what we're doing. Because we don't want to go through these things again. Go ahead.
Verse 25, second precept. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy. And when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight, and ye shall eat and not be satisfied. And if ye will not for all this hearken unto me, but walk contrary unto me, then I will walk contrary unto you, also chastise you 7 times for your sins. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat. And I will destroy your high places.
Right, that's during the sieges. Certain sieges, when they came on Jerusalem, we did do that. We were pushed to that point to eat our children for starvation. That's, man. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And I will destroy your high places, and cut down your images, and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols, and my soul shall abhor you. And I will make your cities waste, and bring your sanctuaries desolation. Not smell the Savior of your sweet, and your land shall be desolate. And then shall the land enjoy her Sabbaths, as long as it lieth desolate. As long as it lieth desolate, it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Sabbaths, when ye dwelt upon it. And upon them that are left alive, the sound of the shaking leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee, as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursue it. And they shall fall one upon another, and it were before a sword, when none pursue it. And ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies. And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in your enemies' lands. And also in the iniquities of their fathers they shall pine away with them. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass which they trespass against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, at that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. The land also shall be left of them, and shall enjoy her Sabbaths, while she lieth desolate without them. And they shall accept the punishment of their iniquity, because they despise my judgments, and because their soul abhorreth my statutes. And yet, for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. For I am the Lord Yahweh. But I will, for their sakes, remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth, that I might be their power. I am the Lord. These are the statutes of the judgments and laws which the Lord made between him. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When a man shall make a singular vow, the person shall be for the Lord by thy estimation. And thy estimation shall be of gold. Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver, after the shekel of sanctuary. And if it be a female, then thy estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. And if it be from the month old even unto 5 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 5 shekels of silver, and for the female thy estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And it shall be from 60 years old and above, if it be a male, then thy estimation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. But if he be poorer than thy estimation, then he shall present himself before the priest, and the priest shall value him according to his ability that vowed. But if, verse 8, but if he be poorer than thy estimation, then he shall present himself before the priest, to his ability that vowed shall the priest value him. Verse 9, and if it be a beast, whereof men bring an offering unto the Lord, all that any man giveth of such unto the Lord shall be holy. Alter it, nor change it, a good for a bad, or a bad for a good. Change thereof shall be holy.
So this is just a vow, a vow for the, if a person makes a vow, or, so this is the vow that this man made, and then you have the estimation, right, of his age and how much how much basically give based on that, his age.
Where you at?
You were supposed to go to verse. That's fine.
Where'd you read to?
I went to 8, 10? 8.
You went to 8? Okay,
Yeah,
the
8.
next brother could just come and go to 8. Oh, so we're right here right now. Okay, so, sorry.
Sayonara, Shabbat Tashal, Yahawada, Ban Yasharala.
Sayonara, Shabbat Tashal, Yahawada, Ban Yasharala.
Yahawah Hashem Yahushai Brakatham.
Yahawah Hashem Yahushai Brakatham.
Leviticus chapter 27 and verse 8. But if he be poorer than the estimation, then he shall present himself before the priest, and the priest shall value him according to the ability that vowed shall the priest value him. And if it be a beast whereof men bring an offering unto the Lord, all that any man giveth of such unto the Lord shall be holy. He shall not alter it, nor change it. A good for a bad, or a bad for a good. And if he shall at all change beast for beast, which they do not offer a sacrifice unto the Lord, when he shall present the beast before the priest. And the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad, as thou valuest it. Who art the priest? So shall it be. Verse 13. But if he will at all redeem it, then he shall add a fifth part thereof unto thy estimation. And when a man shall sanctify his house to be holy unto the Lord, then the priest shall estimate it, whether it be good or bad. As the priest shall examine it, so shall it stand. And if he that sanctified it will redeem his house, then he shall add the fifth part of the money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be his. And if a man shall sanctify unto the Lord some part of a field of his possession, then thy estimation shall be according to the seed thereof. An homer of barley seed shall be valued at the 50 shekels of silver. And if he sanctify his estimation, it shall stand. Verse 18. But if he sanctify, shall reckon unto him the money according to the years that remaineth, even unto the year of the Jubilee, and it shall be abated from thy estimation.
Right, so this house, right? And then, of course, the year of Jubilee, you can get those things back. But, you know, I guess if you can get them back, it's sort of like a loan. You're loaning it for the time being to that year of Jubilee, but it's for the priest now. So you're giving houses, you're giving lands, you're giving things of that nature for them to use. Go ahead.
So the year of Jubilee was 50 years, or 49 years.
Yeah. Yeah, years. So 50 years. Yeah. That's a long time. Yeah.
Verse 19.
Hold up.
Hey, so is this like an example, like when Christ was like, if you say like Raka, you're in danger of the like if someone asks, like someone asks for you and you say Raka, and that's supposed to be like they were giving it to the priest or something that I can't give to you because it's already for the priest. Is this like an example of?
You have to go back there to double check that, what you're saying.
Yeah, I was talking to the priest. Yeah, because.
Let's go. We can go back there. Yeah, find it. What's up?
The one that he's talking about is Korban.
Korban.
That's what I'm talking about.
Korban is worthless.
Korban.
Right. Yeah, go there. But go ahead, read out why we get that.
Verse 19. And if he that sanctify the field will any wise redeem it, then he shall add the fifth part of the money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be assured of him. And if he will not redeem the field, or if he have sold the field to another man, it shall not be redeemed any more. But the field, when it goeth out in the Jubilee, shall be holy unto the Lord, as a field devoted. The possession thereof shall be the priest. And if a man sanctify unto the Lord a field which he hath bought, which is not of the fields of his possession, then the priest shall reckon unto him the worth of thy estimation, even unto the year of the Jubilee, and he shall give thy estimation in that day as a holy thing unto the Lord. In the year of the Jubilee, the field shall return unto him of whom it was bought, even to him to whom the possession of the field did belong. And thy estimation shall be according to the shekel of the sanctuary. 20 gerahs shall be the shekel. Only the firstlings of the beast, which should be the Lord's firstlings, no man shall sanctify it, whether it be ox or sheep, it is the Lord's. And if it be of an unclean beast, then he shall redeem it according to thy estimation, and shall add a fifth part of it thereto.
Yeah, so you weren't going to give beasts and then take those back. They obviously were going to either sacrifice with those beasts, eat those beasts, right? And if it was the foul ones, which we were using those for other purposes, of course. That's why eating pork is unlawful, but having a pig, you had a pig to clean up, to do its job. You understand that? A lot of people think you can never look at a pig or nothing. The Most High created the animals for their purpose, and for the pig's purpose, it was probably eating all the slop and all the other garbage that was around. So, but those can be taken back, but not the ones that were used for, which should be obvious, not the ones that were used for sacrifice or eating, because those are gone. Go ahead.
You know, come on.
Yeah, you know how Israel is.
It's
Yeah.
like I gave you this pig, I gave you this goat to sacrifice. I need a goat back in 50 years.
Yeah.
It's like,
Can I get that goat?
Can I get that goat that you had lent to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 27, last precept. Or if it be not redeemed, then it shall be sold according to thy estimation. 28. Now if standing no devoted thing, that a man shall devote unto the Lord of all that he had, both of man and beast, and of the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto the Lord. Non-devoted, which shall be delivered, and all the tithe of the land, rather of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's. It is holy unto the Lord. And if a man will at all redeem aught of his tithes, he shall add thereto the fifth part thereof. And concerning the tithe of the herd or of the flock, even of whatsoever passeth under the rod, the tenth shall be holy unto the Lord. He shall not search whether it be good or bad, neither shall he change it. And if he change it at all, then both it and the change thereof shall be holy, and it shall not be redeemed. Verse 34. These are the commandments which the Lord commanded Moses for the children of Israel in Mount Sinai.
All right, so we're jumping.
You kind of went all the way.
What'd you read?
You read all of it. Yes. No, that's fine. Yeah.
Go to Jeremiah 16, 19. Jeremiah 16 and 19. He's gonna read, then I'm gonna read, and if y'all have any questions, prepare for the questions. If not, we're gonna do a little refreshing over. Otherwise, prepare your questions, brothers and sisters online, if y'all have any, so we can knock those out and then go into the Hebrew. All right, so he's gonna do his reading, and I'm gonna do mine. Go ahead.
So you read all of Leviticus, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 19.
Jeremiah 16, 19. Just for y'all that don't know, the Sabbath portion readings are literal portions in the scriptures that eventually we would have read the Bible. But it's portioned out. So that's why you're jumping, because it's just portions, but eventually you had
my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity and things wherein is no profit. Shall a man, or behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know mine hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is the Lord.
Right. You know, all these nations are going to bow. All nations, all kingdoms are going to bow to the law, statute, commandments of the Most High in the future. Has to get right. Y'all understand that? It ain't just going to be Israelites. The whole world is going to serve the Most High. But the Most High has to get the Israelites in order to go ahead and get all the nations in order. All right, so go ahead.
Jeremiah 17 and verse 1. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron, and with the point of a diamond. It is engraven upon the table of their heart, and upon the horns of your altars. Whilst your children remember in their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain, to the spoil, and thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders.
Right, so remember, Jeremiah was during the Babylonian Empire. Okay? So the Babylonians today, who are they? Who knows who they are today? Go ahead, Ron.
Ethiopia.
The Ethiopians. The weekends.
That's him.
He's an Ethiopian. So the Babylonians ruled over us, and the Most High gave them power to overthrow us. But now we're understanding why. Leviticus 26 and 14, Deuteronomy 28, the Most High gave us the repercussions for disobeying the commandments. So we've been in captivity, all the way up till now, and still in captivity. Why? Because the Most High said he wrote those sins with an iron pen. The Most High sees what we've done as a nation, as a people.
With a diamond tip.
A diamond tip.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. That I gave thee.
And why do you think yourself why do you think you're called black? Remember, all nations, the white man, they'll tell you about Alexander the Great. They'll tell you that they're the cavemen, right? They'll tell you, you know what I mean, that where they come from. The Chinese, the Japanese, all nations. But where's our heritage? You was a butt-naked Indian running around throwing spears. Further back, but we've been discontinued. That's why you call yourself Hispanic, Native American, Black, Negro, because you've been discontinued from a heritage. Who just had their hand? Yeah.
Yeah, in Africa, they teach them about us.
Yeah.
You know, they teach them about us, our history.
Right, who we are.
Yeah,
even in Africa, they got the great African. They got Wakanda. Who do we got? Who do we got? We got the Gills, the Slums, Snoop Dogg, and 50 Cent. You know what I mean? That's our heritage. Or they try to mix us in there with the Africans. We don't have a heritage. Your heritage goes back to a color and a Crayola. You know what I mean? Crayola book. Or what is it? Carton. You're black. You're brown. Nah, man. So this is the Most High showing us what happened because we disobeyed the commandments. Go ahead.
And I will curse thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Go ahead.
For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
Right. Most High said we kindled a fire. We really made the Most High angry. And when you read your history, you can see how in the Inquisition, you know, we talk about that book a lot. What is it? The Destruction of the Indies, right? By Bartholomew, right? But when you go back to the history of the so-called Negroes being burnt on trees, hanged, listen, from the history of last week of the so-called Negroes, you being shot, then put in a chokehold, killed. It don't stop.
Two Judas got hung last week in Oklahoma.
Really?
One got hung in Mississippi.
And somebody got hung in Oklahoma.
He was dating I think he was dating a white girl.
Yeah, they're still hanging us though. That's the point.
Ain't nobody hanging me, bro.
Not me neither.
You gonna have to kill me before all that.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing that, you know, we've been discontinued from our heritage. You know, we don't have no identity. We don't have no nationality. You know, we always go over this with the kids a lot too, because in school they're not teaching them their heritage. They're not teaching them their history. They're teaching them this Greco-Roman history. They're teaching them they were Shaka Zulu. They're teaching them their, you know, they have people thinking, our kids thinking Wakanda was actually a place in history.
They come over here,
not knowing Wakanda was a made-up place. You know, but these are the foolishnesses that America indoctrinate our kids with, and when they get older, they teach that madness to their kids. Go ahead, read out.
Man, and make it flesh his arm.
Right.
Whose heart departed from the Lord.
Right, and then we trust in politics more. We're trusting politics more. We even trust in pastor more. We won't even get in the Bible and understand how to trust in the Most High. So this is why these curses are still on our people. Go ahead.
For he shall be like the health, Salakia. So he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not be inhabited. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, whose hope is in the Lord. For he shall be as a tree planted by waters, that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his doing. As a partridge sitteth on eggs, and hatcheth them not, so he that getteth riches and not by right shall leave them in the midst of his days, and his end shall be a fool. A glorious high throne of the place of our sanctuary, because they have forsaken the Lord, the fountain of living waters. Heal me, O Yahweh, and I shall be healed. Save me, I shall be saved, for thou art my praise. 33.
Matthew 21:33.
Y'all get that, right? No questions on that?
Any questions on that?
Nah.
Okay.
Hear another parable. There was a certain household which planted a vineyard and hedged it round about, and digged a winepress in it, and built a tower, and let it out to husbandmen, servants to the husbandmen.
Right. So, once again, this is a parable of the kingdom. Okay? So read it from the top, read it again.
Matthew 21, verse 33.
Right.
Hear another parable. There was a certain household did round about, and digged a winepress in it, and built a tower, and let it out to husbandmen.
Right. So this is us, the workers. We're the husbandmen, as people. So we are the husbandmen. Go ahead.
And went into a far country. And when the time of the fruit drew near,
right,
he sent his servants to the husbandmen, that they might receive the fruits of it.
Right. In scripture some other time. But the Most High is requiring from us to bring forth. Just like we went over the talents the other day. He's giving us his imagery, but we got to till the ground. We got to do the work on the land. Keep the vineyard up and running. This is our job. Go ahead.
And the husbandman took his servants and beat one, and killed another,
right,
and stoned another.
But what happens is the husbandmen, a lot of brothers, panic. They lose focus, lose the service or the office, and not fulfill their duty. So this parable is talking about, and I'll correct myself, this is talking about us dealing with the husbandry of the Most High, the work of the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 36. And they did unto them likewise.
Right.
But last of all, he said.
So you see that, right? So the first servants would have been like the prophets. So this is constantly happening. Them killing the prophets, killing the apostles. Go ahead.
Verse 37. But last of all, he sent unto them his son, saying.
Go ahead.
They will reverence my son.
Right. So they sent Yahushua. They're gonna listen to him. Go ahead.
But when the husbandmen saw the son, they said among themselves, this is the heir.
Go ahead.
Come, let us kill him.
Right.
And let us seize on his inheritance.
Right. So we know those weren't the righteous husbandmen. Those were the Pharisees. Those were the Sadducees. The ones that supposedly were. Listen, you look around right now, man. What does these churches and religions want to do to the Israelites? What does the people of the land want to do to the Israelites? The ones that are standing up for the righteousness and the laws and the commandments. They gnash their teeth on you and want to kill you. So it's the same thing, but they did it to Yahushua. Go ahead.
That's it.
Oh, that was it on that?
That was it on that.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to read.
You're going to read, oh yeah, you're going to read 39 to 46.
I'm going to read down to 39 to 46, finishing it up. Then we're going to jump to, is that Luke?
Luke 24.
Okay. Verse 39. And they caught him and cast him out of the vineyard and slew him. When the Lord therefore of the vineyard cometh, what will he do unto those husbandmen? They say unto him, he will miserably destroy those wicked men unto other husbandmen, which shall render him the fruits in their season. So showing you that the Most High is going to destroy those wicked husbandmen and put the right men to serve and to do his will. the ones that are sincere. And that's what the Most High is doing now. The Most High, he's going to purge out the wicked husbandmen. How is he purging them out? You can tell. The ones that don't want to do the will of the Most High, the ones that are here for some fictitious power, the ones that are here for some false position, the Most High moved them out. And he'll put the right men and women that want to do his will. It says, verse 42, Yahushua said unto them, did he never read in the scripture, the stone which the builders rejected, the same is become the head of the corner? This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore say I unto you, the kingdom of God shall be taken from you, and given to a nation to bring forth fruits thereof. And whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken. We know the stone is Yahushua. But on whosoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder. And when the chief priests and Pharisees had heard his parable, they perceived that he spake of them. But when they sought to lay hands on him, they feared the multitude because they took him for a prophet. So we're going to jump over to Luke 24, verse 44. Luke 24, verse 44, down to verse 53. 24, 44. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all these things must be fulfilled, which was written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scripture, suffer, and to raise from the dead the third day, and that repentance and remission of sin should be preached in his name among all nations, beginning at Jerusalem. And ye are witnesses of these things, and behold, I am upon you. But tarry ye in the city of Jerusalem until ye be endued with the power from on high. And he led them out as far as to Bethany, and he lifted up his hands to heaven, was parted from them, and carried up into heaven. And they worshiped him, and returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and were continually in the temple. 9, Acts 1 and verse 9 down to 11. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfast toward heaven, he went up. Behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up to heaven, into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. And jump over to Ephesians 4, verse 8, and that's going to be the last scripture for the reading. Ephesians 4, verse 8 is going to be the last scripture. And if y'all got any questions, now's the time. Ephesians 4 and 8. Wherefore he saith, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive, and gave gifts unto men. Okay. So anybody got any questions on that? Obviously, those last scriptures was a sequence of Yahushua being going to the Most High, and you know what his mission was Israel, to free our people from that captivity, from that slave mentality in Leviticus and Deuteronomy. That's why he says that ye shall know the truth, and the truth was going to make us free. But are you free is the question. Are we free from that bondage and that mental captivity and slavery? All right, so that's it. Other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean when you say worship him? I thought you was all supposed to worship the Most High.
We are supposed to worship the Most High, but what way? Through Yahweh Shai. Right?
He said he ascended to the heaven and worship him.
Right? That just means praise him. That don't mean that they put him before the Most High. Because he even said it, right? He said don't bow to any other gods, right? So to praise him, say give credit where credit's due, right? Right? So when we praise a saint, do we bow to him or are we acknowledging him? So they're acknowledging him. They're not putting him before the Creator, as opposed to when you think of this word worship, oh, we're bowing down to him and putting him up over the Most High. That didn't happen. There you go. Yeah, that didn't happen for the Father. So they understood what it was to worship him and to worship the Most High.
So you don't believe in the Trinity?
Yeah, of course we believe in the Trinity. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Entity, right? We got Yahweh Shai, separate entity, and then we got the Holy Spirit, separate entity. But they all are one, as in the, and then went back up, masqueraded as himself. No. That's not what the scriptures teach us. The scriptures teach us, think about it, when Christ was on the cross and he said, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? He was praying to the Father, because the Father is a separate entity. Right? There was no deception there going on like, okay, I'm looking up to the Father, but I'm really looking up to myself. Not in that way, like the Christians have taught us.
Well, that's good. But why do you sport the fleur de lis?
Because the scriptures tell you that we sported that in the commandments, in the law. Let's go there. Go Leviticus. Like all through the temple, the floor, the lily. The lily. That's what you're talking about, the lily, right? The lily.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking about the lily. In the
flower. The flower.
Yeah, the flower. Yeah. We had that flower. First of all, that flower represented Israel, number one. Let's go there first, and then we'll go to Leviticus where we had it. Go to, what is it, Esdras? Go to 2nd Esdras. Let me find this here. Is it? 2nd Esdras 5. Yeah. And 23. Start from verse 23.
2nd Esdras chapter 5, verse 23. And said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth,
right,
and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee one vine,
right,
and of all the lands of the whole world.
Right. So when you read in the scripture about the vine, right, the chosen vine, that's symbolic, but it's also physical. But it's a representation of Israel. Because all these things you're going to see as he reads down, it represented his people. It always goes back to his chosen. So that one vine, that was talking about Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And of all the lands of the whole world, indeed,
which is among us, it was one place. Go ahead.
And of all the flowers thereof, one lily.
What?
One lily.
Right, because that's his favorite flower. Why? Because it goes back to Israel being his favorite. But he liked the lily. Go ahead.
And of all the depths of the sea.
All right, so go from there, go to Hosea 14. Just because it goes down. Because he even shows you about the sea. It even shows you about the city. but it all goes back to Israel. But let's stick our point to his question. Go to Hosea 14 verse 5. Just about the lily. The lily was the Most High's favorite flower. Yeah, Song of Solomon 2 and 2. Yeah. The lily was the Most High's favorite flower. Go ahead.
Hosea chapter 14, verse 5.
Go ahead.
I will be as the dew unto Israel. He shall grow as the lily.
Right. See, Israel shall grow as the lily. It was symbolic. The Most High's favorite flower, the Most High's favorite people. Right? Go ahead.
And cast forth his roots as Lebanon.
Right. Go from there. Go to Songs of Solomon 2 and 2. Songs of Solomon 2 verse 2.
Songs of Solomon chapter 2 verse 2. As be a call, y'all got it? The thorns, so is my love among the daughters.
So as what?
So as the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters.
Right. So is my lily among the what?
Among thorns. So is my love among the daughters.
The daughters of who though? Who's that talking about? Israel. The Most High is talking about Israel. That's what Solomon is talking about. He's referring to the chosen. So the lily was just a representation of his favorite. And he liked the flower. Right? And we know that the flower, they got the 6 points on there. What also got the 6 points on there? The pomegranate. So
6.
No. The Most High's flower have 6 points.
Wait a minute. I'm from New Orleans. And we got a lot of cattle.
Yeah.
And that's their symbol. It's also the Pope symbol.
Yeah.
Carried on the staff.
What's that?
The Fruitfulness.
Well, yeah. Remember, go to Ecclesiastes 39 real quick.
And can I say one thing about that? 'Cause I know we're going to go there.
Yeah.
We live in America, and the rainbow flag is for the homosexuals, but we know that was created for us. So all they did was take something good.
What you mean it was created for us?
The rainbow?
The rainbow.
The rainbow was for us.
Oh, you're about the covenant rainbow?
Yeah.
Right, but the homosexuals use that as their symbol. Right? Right, so they took something good and turned it into something evil. It's no different than even the swastika. That was a symbol of peace that Hitler turned into a symbol of killing.
Right.
So anything can be turned to evil, turned from good to evil if it's put in the hands of the right people.
Right.
We're going to go there and
prove it. Or the wrong people. Rather the wrong people.
The wrong evil people.
Right.
The right evil people.
Yeah. So you got to see that, they took all these images and things from the Bible and used them the wrong way.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Go to Ecclesiastes 39 verse 26.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 verse 26.
25.
Verse 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning.
Read it again.
For the good are good things created from the beginning.
Yeah, the good things are created from the beginning. The Most High created all these things. Like we had somebody call us yesterday about the herbs. They try to catch us like, well, is marijuana in the Bible? Yeah, herbs is in the Bible. But they're trying to get us to say marijuana's not, but it is. But in its righteous form, the righteous use that righteously. The wicked, they take it and they use it wrong. So this is what the scripture is saying. Good things were created in the beginning. Like we said, a pig is not wicked, is it? Is a pig wicked? No, you eating it is wicked. But a pig is not, God created that. It's not wicked. What we do with it makes it wicked. So this is what the wicked do. They take righteous things and turn them wicked. Go ahead.
The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water.
Right, water. You would think, well, how could somebody turn water wicked? Well, the white man, America, has found how to destroy and to turn and to destroy water and make it into something wicked. with all the defiled things they put in it, with all the taking it and selling it to you. That's wicked. But this is water, a natural resource, right? Go ahead.
Fire.
Right, fire. Come on now.
Iron.
I mean, fire. You can do anything with fire. You can cook your food, or I can burn you up with a fire, right? But it matters what your mind you're in. If you're keeping the laws, you know I'm not going to be a pyromaniac and douse people with fire and burn them up. You're going to use that fire for cooking, for burning, for doing things righteously. Go ahead.
Iron.
Right, iron. I always say it. I can take that same iron, create a fork, and eat with it, or take that same fork and stab things. They use all these things wickedly. Go ahead. Whoa, how could salt be wicked? They find a way. You got iodized salt, and then you got sea salt. You got a salt that can destroy you and give you high blood pressure, diabetes. You got the other salt that was made naturally, right? They found a way. They just find it. See, there's the key. The flour was supposed to be of wheat, not bleach, not turn white, not added all these things to it. All your foods literally supposed to be dark bread. Dark. This is passing through your liver, and why your liver function is bad. Why your kidneys are bad. Why when you get older you look like you're 20 but you look 40. Because all you did was eat bad things that the wicked took and did wrong with it. Go ahead.
Honey.
Right, honey. I mean, the bees are leaving. The bees, they destroyed the ecosystem so bad that we're losing the bees. So you'd be thinking like, well, how could you turn that evil? They have destroyed and broken the everlasting covenant. So yeah, they're going to take things from the Bible and turn them into evil. Like he said, Joseph had a coat of many colors. But if we came in here with a rainbow coat, you'd be looking at me like, nigga, what you doing? Because they put their concept on that. Now, I could do like Cameron and make rainbow the new color. You know what I mean? You know how you took pink and made it a new color? Yeah. Fine, but how many people I'm going to have to go through it if we all had rainbow colors up here online? What would Israelites do to us? Defame us? Say, wait a minute, y'all brothers wearing rainbow colors, that's the faggots' color. Not knowing that that's our colors. That we had the coat of many colors, not them. But they turned that and turned it into evil, and now you can't wear it. You got a lot of cats saying that it's not the floor, it's not the lily. Oh, it's the Star of David. And that's the Star of Molech and all these things. And they don't know. Wait a minute, the lily's in the Bible. A 6-point symbol is not wicked. Because if that's the case, then you're saying that the Most High created the lily and the lily's wicked.
6 falls short of the mark. 7 is complete.
The Most High, listen, the Most High created the lily. Is the lily wicked? No. Exactly. So that ends all that. The lily's not wicked, but the wickedness, yes, that's wicked. Go ahead.
Milk.
Right? Yeah, milk, like we were saying earlier. You're drinking the pussy. That cow milk, I used to love milk.
Get that milk mustache.
Now you go online, you look at what they do to the cows. You look at the heads and the muscles in the cows and the bodies because all the injections and things. You're like, damn, destroy everything. Go ahead. Come on.
Blood of grapes.
Blood of grapes. The wine, right? What wine can be used for wickedness, and ergo, look at all the people in the community. Look at all the people in the neighborhood. They're drunkards. They're falling out in the street. Wine is good though. Measurably drunken, like the scriptures say, right? In moderation. But a wicked person will use that wine and die and kill themselves, car accidents, kill other people. Which is
even in the way it's made. Think about it. You got like Steel Reserves,
yeah,
4 Locos. You drink one of those,
yeah, it makes you loco.
You're done.
It makes you loco.
You're finished. Like you're finished.
It makes you loco.
But But it just gets you to the point where they manufacture even the wine and liquor to a point where you drink half a can and you think you're in moderation.
Yeah. No,
I only had half a can.
You're already on slant.
And
you're already on slant. You here.
You're finished.
Off of one can.
Why? You finished.
Because you're drinking gasoline.
Yeah, it's like
killing your liver that quick. Pow.
High gravity alcohol. I don't even know.
Well, go ahead.
And oil.
Right, oils. All the oils and things add chemicals to it and to spray it so it can be a perfume. But in its natural form, the oil is good for your skin. It's good for your hair. It's good for your face. We would have it's for healing, right? The oil, and it's Americanized though. That's why they will buy the Michael Kors over the Michael Kors cologne over men dressing like women, women dressing like men, right? They turn clothing wicked. How could you think about it? How could you turn clothes wicked?
Tell me how.
Easy. They make the women look, they have shaped the women's clothing to look like men. Now you got women looking like masculine, like men, like dykes, like bull dykes. And the men, now you go get you some jogging sweats. Now, we all do it. We try to go get sweats now, right? They make them all slim to where you got to get them extra large, or else your behind is going to look like a woman's behind. How you going to be 40 years old and your ass poking out like a woman? Yeah, right? That's how they took the clothes. And now it looks like everything you're wearing spandex.
Everything looks feminine.
Everything. It's like, how you going to turn jogging sweats and make them look effeminate? And then all they did was contour the legs on down, and now you got spandex. Yeah. So if you don't get those extra large, they're not going to be baggy on you. They're going to contour your butt being a man.
Men and women wore the same clothes in Bible time.
No, hell no, they didn't.
Same time.
Nah.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Men wore linen breeches.
Yeah.
Men wore linen breeches.
What?
Linen breeches.
What is that?
Those are pants.
Yeah.
I never saw that.
You never read that in the scriptures?
No.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to, hold on, let's finish this and then we're going.
And even with the clothing being wicked, they got invisible jeans now.
Oh, I see that.
Where it's just the seam of the jeans and everything else is gone.
I see that. Right.
Think about this. A woman's walking around.
A crouch part only.
All this is gone, and all you get is the seam. And the parts that are seamed, that's all you get, but all this is invisible.
I seen this in Google the other day.
Invisible jeans.
It's like chaps, basically.
I seen a pair in the mall the other day.
Oh, you see somebody wearing it?
But it wasn't all the way. Remember, I don't know if you was there with me.
Oh,
but
she had the jeans.
It was gone. Just straight leg.
Turned into evil.
That's the point. They're good for the godly, but they take those things and they now turn them into evil. They turn the women into dressing like men, the men dressing like women, androgynous. They want Americans to look androgynous. Even worse than a faggot, a transvestite. They want you. They want to look at you and don't know your sex. So what do they got now? Faggots with full beards lined up, right? With makeup on.
6'10", 250.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson's son.
Exactly.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's that?
Even look at the NBA playoffs. They're like promoting like LeBron. All the players have purses now, and they're like talking.
Oh yeah.
They're all wearing purses, and
yeah.
like with Harden, the stuff he wears.
Yeah. And it's like we all carry bags, right?
Yeah.
But they make those bags now, men bags, look like.
I can see that scripture about the pants.
Oh yeah.
You go there, we go right.
Yeah, first of all, let's go to the law, what the scripture says.
This is Exodus chapter 28 and verse 30.
And go, hold on, before you go there, let's go to 22, yeah. Let's go there real quick.
Exodus 22.
Deuteronomy 22. Let's go here first, just to establish the law, that in the law, no, man and women didn't.
Hey.
Read it again.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
Yeah, we didn't dress like the women. It was a difference. The women didn't dress like us. You know, like, listen, there's a difference between a robe like a robe I got in my car, and a dress. So, and then under that robe, you can see your pants, you can see your breeches. You know, the women, they had to be covered up. So even if you think, well, that there's a similarity, you can see how it was designed to be for a man and a woman. Go ahead, go to the next one.
Go to Exodus 28 and 42. 28 and 42.
Exodus chapter 28, verse 42.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt make them linen breeches.
Linen what?
Linen breeches.
Now we know that this was talking about the priests at this time, right? Because there was a time when they wore their priestly robes, but there was nothing under their robes. That's why the Most High told us not to make the temple steps go up to see the priest's nakedness, or to see one another's nakedness. You see that? So he said, do what?
And thou shalt make them linen breeches.
Now, when you go to Europe, what do they call pants? They call them what?
Breeches.
They call them breeches, right? Check this out. I'm gonna look up let's just look it up.
You're going to Strong's?
No, I'm going into the Webster's 1828 dictionary to look it up. This is a real good dictionary. It's an older dictionary. Webster's 1828 breeches. It says a garment worn by men, covering the hips and thighs. It is now a close garment, but the word formerly used for a loose garment. Now called trousers.
How you spell it?
Breeches? B-R-E-E-C-H-E-S.
They got it from breeches.
They got it from breeches. So, I mean, think about it now. What would linen breeches be today? What do men wear today that you consider? Huh?
That was the grandmothers used to call it back in the day.
Right, but the way they're described, that would be like a man's. Right, they'd be pants.
They'd be pants.
They'd be pants. But even then, it said they covered the thigh and the loin, so it didn't go all the way down.
They ain't called them pants back in the day.
Yeah.
But now that's the thing. It's breeches.
Yeah.
Which are, if you go to Europe, you go to other countries, they call breeches pants. They don't say pants.
Yeah.
So the men wore breeches. The women didn't wear these.
Yeah.
They wore a lot of different other things.
They wore
long dresses.
Yeah.
What's that?
We covered up.
Even in Chicago, when I was a kid, they used to call breeches long johns. But it's like
there you go.
There it is. It covered all the way down.
Right.
Get your breeches, boy. Pick up your breeches.
Yeah, because the thing is this, that we wore a lot of robes too, tunics. You know, when you look at the priestly apparel, we wore stuff like that. So these would go up under our tunics.
Yeah.
Our robes.
Because that's why the Most High told us, I was saying earlier, not to build the temple steps.
No, what it was saying is, no, the thing is this, that the endowment of man was much more than it is now. So he was like, listen, you right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be hard to cover that. Yeah. What, were you reading something else? You in the middle of reading something? Go ahead.
To cover their nakedness. From the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach.
There you go. Right. So now you even got long shorts like that. Yeah. You know, to where from your loin all the way down to your thighs, you're covering all that. So yeah, you were covered up. That's what men wore.
But then how do they make them gay? They give men capri pants.
Yeah.
Like the ones that go down to the ankle but right above the top of the shoe.
Oh, with the slit?
Yeah, like that was the biggest thing back in like early 2000s. Like dudes just running around with capris on.
They used to call them fluid back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what capris are. They're bringing those back. I see that. It's like you're talking about like the Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But they're capri pants with a string. Imagine these. Imagine our military pants. Stopping right here on purpose.
Oh, those are sexy.
With a it has a string. But this is the thing. It has the string where you can pull the string.
Oh, you can pull the string.
So it just.
Yeah.
They hold your cat.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
I have one more question.
Yes, sir.
This is going to determine if I'm going to come back here or not.
Uh-oh.
I know y'all believe in Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, y'all call on that man, right?
Yes, sir.
You believe the Holy Spirit is feminine.
Is what?
Feminine.
Female.
Hold on. We're just gonna answer that with discretion. That the scripture. That way, when you come back or whether or not come back, it's gonna be you denying what the scripture says. So we ain't gonna say nothing. We're gonna just get the Bible. All right, go there. Go to 14 and 26. St. John 14 and 26.
Oh. Yeah.
Go to St. John 14, 26.
St. John chapter 14, verse 26.
St. John 14, 26.
But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost.
Oh, the Holy Spirit.
Holy
We know.
Spirit.
You know that means spirit, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Whom the Father will send in my name.
Go ahead.
He shall teach.
What? Wait, what?
Will send in my name.
Go ahead.
He shall
He
teach.
what?
He.
What?
He.
Huh?
He.
She.
No.
He said no.
He said what?
He.
Right?
No gender.
He.
Pansexual.
He.
Transsexual.
He
what?
All right. So any other questions?
I'll see y'all next week.
All right. Yeah, Ronnie, go ahead.
You probably answer this for him next week. Was Christ the last Adam?
But that's not what you asked first.
Yeah.
That's not. Is that how you asked it in the
No, I answered it in a different way. I answered it in a different way.
Let's answer what he asked. Go to Corinthians.
No.
I know.
He asked it earlier. Yeah.
Go to 1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 15.
Good.
15 to 45.
See, you got to understand also that that's symbolic too. That's symbolic of Christ doing away with the first works of the first man, right? So it's almost as Christ had to start us over again. So that's why he's saying it in this form. Well, Christ, all things are new in the spirit, right? Old things are passed away, right? Go ahead, read that.
And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
Right.
And the last Adam, a quickening spirit.
Right. So what was that quickening spirit? The first Adam, the first man, as opposed to Yahweh Shai being a similitude of this last Adam. What was the difference?
Spirit.
The spirit. He applied the spirit. Adam did it. That's why he fell. The commandments. He didn't apply the laws. Do what? Do karma. Well, yeah, you got to read down. Yeah.
Howbeit, that was not first which is spiritual.
Go ahead.
But that which is natural.
Right.
And afterward, that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth.
Right.
Earthy.
Go ahead.
The second man is of the Lord from heaven.
There you go. That's the point I wanted to get to. The second man is the Lord of heaven, Yahweh Shai. So you see that? All right. Any other questions online? Anything? No? Okay, we're gonna just refresh. We're trying to go out and do street speaking, so we're not gonna take too long, but we want to refresh over the Hebrew, see if brothers and sisters have got that down, and also for the new people that's here can edify. Y'all can teach them the Hebrew just a little bit, basics. Yeah.
There's a question online.
What's that?
It says, question, I live in Philly and it gets very, very cold in the winter with snow. And I am trying to switch over from wearing jeans for myself and my 4 daughters to wearing dresses through all seasons. Is it okay for us to wear the fur that's in line with tights under our dresses and snow pants in the winter?
Yeah, but under your dress, right? Yes, you can cover up. Yes, you can go ahead and not just wear. Think about it. There's the Most High saying, "Oh, for the woman to wear just panties up under there." That way, your spandex ain't prevalent or your undergarment ain't prevalent under your dress. Y'all see that? But yeah, since of course the Most High don't want you to walk around just bare where your panties can be seen by men, or your dress can flow up and you can be seen. And I know your question is on weather-wise, but just think about it. If the weather wasn't, if it wasn't cold, you think the Most High wants a breeze to come up under, and now everybody just to see your panties? Nah, He wants you to cover up. So yeah, under your dress you can wear things like that cover you up. That's okay. All right. So is that it? That's it on there? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and touch on this Hebrew. Nobody had any other questions? If you do, y'all know we're not running from questions. We give y'all an opportunity. We'll be back here Monday. You can always ask questions then. But we're going to touch on the Hebrew now a little bit, just to see where brothers and sisters at if they kept studying the Hebrew that we went over. Because so far we've gotten far on the Hebrew. Okay? Everything behind us is ancient. Everything behind us is ancient Hebrew. The modern Hebrew is what they use, the so-called Jews use. We use the ancient writing, and we use the ancient dialect. Okay? So when I say dialect, we say Abaga, they say Aleph, Beth, Gemed. Right? That's their dialect. But we use the ancient dialect, which is Abaga. How about y'all do it with me, class? Y'all ready? Good. Ready? Good. All right. Sleep spirit gotta go now. All right. Ba, ga, ha, wa, za, cha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, ai, pa, tza, kwa, ra, sha, tha. So that's the dialect we use. Now there is two dialects because the so-called Jews speak a dialect, right? A form in Hebrew, but they use the Assyrian writing, which we use the Assyrian writing too. We came up with that writing during the Assyrian captivity to preserve the ancient writing, all right, which is these writings. That's why a lot of these writings, you know where you see this on? You see these on old Mesha stones. Mesha stones are old archaeological stones with the ancient Hebrew writings. Like you got the Moabite stone is a Mesha stone. It's the Moabite Mesha stone, and they wrote in this, okay. And the Most High's name is on that stone, okay. So that's what Hebrew we're dealing with. Just, I know y'all know this. For the new people that are online, for who don't know, just to show you what writings we're dealing with. We're learning this, and when you study the tests, like, for instance, this is a young officer here. The young brother, Chicago over here, he just passed the test, the soldier's test. He had to learn what the so-called Jews are writing. Okay? So, just to let y'all know, there's a modern and the ancient. We're going over the ancient writing. Spirit steps up in the front. Carlos is ready to drop it in the spirit of the Most High. Without doubt, he's ready. Go ahead, Art. Say it loud.
Abagada awasa haktaya kalama.
His accent is thick. He has a thick accent, so we're going to say it slow, and we're going to pronounce what we're saying. So the first one is what? Ah. The first one is what? Ah. 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 Okay, ah. The first symbol is ah. Ah. Right? And the ah, right, comes from cattle, and in Hebrew is what, class? Alap. Alap. So when they created these hieroglyphs, they created them. This is to shut down that Egyptology, that the Egyptians were the only ones that wrote things on the walls. That's BS. All the sons of Adam wrote things on the walls. And we all had a verbal tradition. The great thing is that the Hebrews kept the tradition of Adam all the way down to us being the children of Israel. You understand that? We kept the first language. We kept the language from the past, which was Ibar Yah. So when you say you're Hebrew Israelite, Hebrew is your language. But what does Hebrew mean? Huh? Mawala, after you pick your nose, what is it? Put you on the spot, didn't I? Right, Hebrew. Hebrew means from the past. So we kept the language from the past, which was Ibar Yah, which is Hebrew, okay? So this hieroglyph, when they made it, it came from the cattle. If you look at the cattle's head, or if you switch this around, if you turn it sideways, you have the cattle head and the horns. But this is where the A came from, which is what class in Hebrew? Alap. Which, that's how you say cattle in Hebrew. So even learning the basics of Hebrew, you're still learning words in the middle of this. All right? So alap, which is what class? What class? Then what do we have next, class? There's got to be some confidence here. Is what? Ba. So when they looked at this hieroglyph, or made this hieroglyph, they said it was what class? Bayath, which is what in English? Yeah. So if you look at this being the tent, and then you got the tent hook, you got Bayath. Okay? Right? Because we dealt with those tents a lot, but we had more things than tents. But this is the basic concept of where we got this from. Ba comes from Bayath, which is house. All right? And then what do we have next, class? God. Which is, it comes from camel, which, how do you say camel in Hebrew? Gamal. Which is the God. Then what do we have, class? What class? Da. Which comes from what? Door. How do you say door in Hebrew? Pathach ha-dalaf. Open the door. Pathach ha-dalaf. Sagar ha-dalaf is closed. So, dalaf, door. Alright? And we're just breezing over it. We know y'all know this. Also, for the ones that don't know, we got the ha. The next one is what class? Ha. This one, we don't have a hieroglyph for that yet. Ha. Okay? The next one, what is it, class? Wa. What class? Wa. Come on, everybody be involved, man. Show them that you love it. You love the Hebrew. What is it, class? Wa. And where does this come from? Hook, which is what? Wa. Hook, which is wa. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahusha, Lakwach, Mayan, Anachnawa, Shatan, wa. Take away from us Satan's hooks. Right? Wa, which is the hook. And you can see, if you can look at this, you can see how where they got this from. Right? Like a spear at the end to where they grab things. Right? So hook, wa. What's the next one, class? And what Where does Zah come from? Zion, which is what? Weapon. The brother's name is Zion Allah, which means what? Weapon of the power. Weapon of the power. Because Allah in Hebrew means what? Power. But they translated that to what? God. Okay? So Zion Allah, which means weapon of the power. Okay? And they get that word mixed up a lot. When they say, when you read in Hebrew, powers, America, the Greeks, the Romans, they translated that what? God. And they get it misconstrued between the power of powers, the Most High above all, as opposed to the little gods. Because, right, ye are gods, right? But ye shall die like men, right? So you have for the baby G's. See, and that's where they mix that up a lot in English, or the Most High. And then sometimes they replace it for Lord. See, when Lord was talking about Yahweh Shai. See, that's where you got to get better in the Hebrew to understand what you're reading. So you don't got to be Hebrew scholars, but knowing some basics of Hebrew will give you a lot of clarity and understanding in the scriptures. That's why it says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Because in the beginning, Yahweh Shai was with the Most High, but he was power. He wasn't the Most High. That's confusion. He was with the Most High, and he has been given power. And you go through the scriptures and we can go over all that. I'm just throwing things out. This is what class? It comes from what? Excuse me? Weapon, which is Zion. What's the next one? We get this one wrong a lot. Ha. You gotta come from the back of the throat. Ha. 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 Alright? You know why? Because you're foreigners. You're so used to this American accent and language that it's hard for you to say that. But the Arabs, they say that they use this all the time. You got a lot of nations that still can easily roll off their tongue, but we can't because we speak this bastard language.
You know what's crazy about that? They say that English makes the way you formulate words and everything. There's no thought to it. It's a lazy language.
Right.
Because all those different things like the ha and rolling your tongue, it just says that it's a lazy language.
It is.
And you can see it.
It is.
Because then when you have to do these things, it's like your tongue don't want to move.
Yeah.
It's hard, so.
Yeah, remember, listen, the pilgrims that came over here that deal with this language, they were lazy as hell. Right. They were lazy, they were slow-minded, they weren't thinkers, they weren't innovators. So, of course, the language that came from them, it ain't even the language in England. The English language ain't, and, yeah. So we got the cha, which we got to get a hieroglyph for that. And then we also got the what next? Ta. It's the ta. Ta. We got to get a hieroglyph for that also. And we got some. The thing is that I want to confirm it. When we bring out the information, we make sure you got 3 or 4 books confirming that where this symbol or this hieroglyph came from. So when we study, we was always told you got to have 3 references. Like if you look up a word, you know, you got to have 3 references at least to confirm that word is what it is. Because you know why? They don't whitewash everything and change so many things. You got to have 3 references. So this symbol is what? Ta. Ta. And we're just going through the pronunciation now. What's next, y'all? Ya. 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 Which comes from what? Yad. Yad. Which is hand. So you'll hear us say, after we salute, Yad Yam Mata, which is hands down. Yad is hand, Yam makes it plural, and Mata means down. Okay? So, Ya, Ya. Okay? Not Y-A-H. Y-A. Yah. I get this, right? Yah. All right, what's the next one? What is it, class?
Ka.
Ka. So this can't be mixed up with Cha. See, you can't mix up Ka, because you can change the whole palm of hand. The other one is Yad, which is hand. This comes from the palm of hand. So if you look at your hand, you can see where they got that from. Palm of hand. And I know I'm going through them quick because I know you guys know this. We're just trying to re-edify whoever needs to be re-edified. All right, what's the next one? Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. And just for the new people, this is for all the people that say that High Priest Ariah came up with the Hebrew. That's ridiculous. High Priest Ariah, if you look up the Hebrew is way before we started learning the ancient Hebrew. So I'm giving y'all references to know that, because they go around online, that your high priest came up with that. That's ignorant as hell. These stones, Hebrew was written on stones in 4 BC. Ariel wasn't here in 4 BC. So for you to think a man within our generation came up with that, you're just really, really lost. So yeah, if you go to Hebrew in your Zondervan, they got different stones here that go back to, this goes back to Solomon, written with the ancient Hebrew. You understand that? All right, so when you deal with those retarded people talking about, your high priest came up with that. No, no, no. Slow down. Okay? The white man even got it in here. This is ancient Hebrew. Sometimes they'll call it Phoenician writing. Okay? Sometimes they call it, what's the other thing they call it? Paleo Hebrew. Okay? So, what's the next one, y'all?
Ma.
Ma. Ma. Which looks like what? Water. The wave. Mayam. Water. Okay? That's where Ma comes from. Mayam, which is water. What's the next one? What is it, class?
Na.
Na. Sa. Sa. And the hieroglyph of that is what?
Support.
Support, which is samak. And where we flags on them, the tribes, you would have your support. And you would put your flags on these. In your tribes. Okay, samak, or support, which in Hebrew is samak. You got the sister's name is Samakaya. Samakaya, which is feminine for support. Okay? So, and it means my support. What is it, class? Y'all losing vigor. You're losing motivation. You're losing power. There you go. Which come from, it looks like what? It looks like the I. Which comes from the Hebrew word ayan. Ayan, which means I. Okay? We had a brother named Ayanwa, which is to see. His name was Ayanwa, which is to see. So I, which comes from the I. Okay? Looks like what we call a 0 or O, but in Hebrew this is an I. What's the next one, class? Pa. What is it, class?
Pa.
Pa. Which comes from what?
Mouth.
It comes from what, class? Mouth. And how do you say mouth in Hebrew?
Pa.
Pa. Right? Pa, which is mouth. And when you look at the symbol, how it's shaped, it's like a mouth. Right? So, you see where these hieroglyphs kind of get an idea where they come from. Pa, which is mouth. What's the next one, class? What is it?
Tazah.
Without the doubt?
Tazah.
Tazah. Tazah. Tazah. What's the next one? Qua. Qua. which we got to get a hieroglyph for that. Qua. What's the next one, class?
Ra.
What is it?
Ra.
Ra, which comes from what? Head, which is, how do you say head in Hebrew? Ra'ash. Ra'ash. All right, so Lakarab, jump up and say the abagadas. Come on. We got 2 more left. Say it loud, clear, and strong. Let's go.
Abagada awaza khataya kalamanasa aipa.
Too fast. It's too fast. We need you to get a little slower. A little bit. Go ahead.
Abagada awaza khataya kalamanasa aipa.
Right, right. We know, man, you Israelites, Israel's not easily amazed, man. You know what I mean? You're quickly bored. All right, so let's say it together. No. Ready?
Come.
Carlos, come on, Carlos. I see you over there, man.
I'm ready.
Y'all ready?
Ready.
All right, begin. Abagada hawaza khataya. Abagada hawaza khataya. Kalamana Sa'aipa Tazakwa Rashapa. One more time. Abagada Hawaza Khataya Kalamana Sa'aipa Tazakwa Rashapa. One more time. Abagada Hawaza Khataya Kalamana Sa'aipa Tazakwa Rashapa. We're gonna have to get the drums like Light of Zion. They got the drums. We're going to have to get the drums up in here. They be playing the music at Light of Zion. Listen, hey, it's all good. All right, what's the next one? Shah. Shah, which comes from what? Tooth, which is, in Hebrew, you say what? Shan, which is tooth. Shah, which is shan. My wallet gets me. All right, next one is what? Tha. The last one is tha, which looks like what? Mark, sign, in the cross. You're in. The Greeks, the Romans used this sign to cross you out. Tha. Where is it at? It looks like it looks like an X, but we know an X is really, it's a cross. It's crossing you out. And that's what the cross was. It wasn't something good. It was death. They meant the end of your life. All right. So, and how do you say that in Hebrew? Tawa. 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 All right. So, just to refresh, man, to see where everybody's at. You brothers and sisters, keep studying. Keep going over the basics. And then we'll get into breaking this down. We want to give y'all a little time to study on yourself, and then we'll go back over. But we want everybody to know the Hebrew alphabet. We want everybody to be able to say it. All right? So, do we got anything online? Okay. All right. So we're going to salute everybody online, and we're going to finish up Sabbath prayers. If you want to join us for the prayers, you got to come to class. All right? So we're going to finish up Sabbath prayers. Everybody say shalom to them online. Shalom. All right, and then as for us, when she clicks off, I madyam wapanya. And after that, we're gonna take after we finish up prayers, we're gonna take a 15-minute break. Let brothers get something to eat really quick because we're gonna go do this street speaking. So, of course, the brothers that know who's going out, and we can go. But for the brothers that know, we're going to give y'all 15 minutes, and then we're going to go head out there. We're not, right, we got the permit, so we're going to be headed to our other spot to go teach. Yeah, other spot.